I double-clicked the button. Hello, we're here now.
Oh, okay. hello, everybody.
I
welcome,
unmuted
welcome on this
and immediately
lovely,
remuted.
wacky Tuesday.
It is. I know we're doing character shoots. I need to get 2 of these panels done, and this is the second one, so we're nearly there. So we're gonna do it first.
Look how good it's coming out, you guys. Hey, amazing. Hello, Pastry.
Hey, Mason and Rao and
wow,
Pastry Puff.
I screwed that up. Pastry Puff. There we go.
I don't even
Rao
know
now,
what you
hello. I think I said Pasty Puff. And
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
nope, that's not it. That's
in
definitely
summertime.
not right.
What did, I was editing videos, and you screwed up, Sweetie Pie Princess as
In my defense,
Max.
that was a hard one.
And you were like, CT Papa, CT Papa,
Yep, nope, that sounds like me.
Yep.
That definitely sounds like me.
So that was a funny.
And here
thing
we
I was
had
editing.
a take 2 with Puff.
Yep. It's the peas.
I apologize,
The
Pastry
peas
Puff.
get
It
Mars.
has been one of those days. I don't know why the peas get me. The peas is one of the easiest sounds in the English language. It's one of the first ones you learn. I don't know why I'm tripping over it. Yeah, Brown, now it's a remix. You know, someone put a beat on that.
Wait, so Mars, you're saying that if you want to be the parent whose name is spoken first, you should be Papa.
Yes.
Guys, get in on this information. Forget Dada, forget Mama, it's Papa. I don't care what gender, that's how you get spoken first.
Well, it's
Tips
interesting
and tricks.
because M and P are both made with your 2 lips. They're what's known as bilabial sounds. What's different about them is that the P sound is very quick. We actually call it a plosive because the air is leaving your mouth super quickly. Whereas with the M sound in like mama, you have air coming through your nose. We call that a nasal. If you actually make the sound, you could feel your nose buzzing a little bit.
And that's
if
why you
put your
can't
finger to
hum
it, you'll
with
feel
your
that
nose
vibration.
closed.
Exactly, because you need to have that opening in order to make that hum. So that requires a little more maneuvering of the different parts. So yeah, bilabial plosives are definitely easier.
Who had...
But and pa are typically the first 2.
Yeah, that's what Rao said. Baba. That's there you go. So you have Baba and Papa,
exactly.
and then you're on even playing ground now.
Oh, Mason, are you building the new Star Wars set you showed us in chat?
It was
That
Tatooine,
looks
wasn't it?
so cool, by the way. I think it was the cantina.
Oh, was it the canteen? I knew it was on Tatooine. It looked Tatooine-y.
I saw it so quickly during my lunch
and I was like,
break
ooh, Star Wars!
I wanted to reply because I was like, ooh, Star Wars. And I think I saw Star Wars pants in the photo too. Like, bravo.
Oh, wow, yeah. Star Wars, like, pajama pants going on with Yoda on it.
Like,
theming.
Those are sick.
Was that like a graduation gift, Mason? Alright.
Nice, Pastry Puff! Spy X Family is so wholesome. Ori and I still need to watch Code White together.
Yeah, it hasn't come out in a way for us to watch it yet, though. So.
I know.
Well, I haven't looked on our usual site. I just looked on the official site because we're trying to give support these days.
We're trying to actually support. Yuri on Ice changed us, man.
No,
it taught us the error of our ways.
No offense to Yuri on Ice, I'm very, very sad. But what changed us was the fact that the link click shorts only exist on Crunchyroll, and we couldn't find out how to.
5.5.
Well, 5.5 I did find somewhere else. Remember, we watched it on a different site.
I did find it somewhere else.
Yeah, but
that site was
shorts
biting me. Let me tell you.
But the shorts were unable to watch see anywhere else. We couldn't do it.
Couldn't find them anywhere. I was so sad.
And so
but now we have Crunchy, so it's all good.
Yeah. Mars and I are bound forever in our Crunchyroll. And we have free Rin icons.
Yes. I have Free Rin and Ori has Fern, and it's so good. I love Free Rin.
Let me even see. Maybe it's on our other side. I'm gonna check just to see.
We gotta do the research now.
Yeah, I finished Mashley season 2 because episode 12 was finally dubbed.
Nice.
It was a nice goofy end of kind of part beach episode, part study school episode, you know, little tiny motivation, mostly goofing, you know, sort of episode.
That is the choice, Pastry Puff, between Anya or Stark. They're both very good.
Ooh, I love Stark.
Stark is so good. I can't help but say it the way they pronounce it in the show, because that's just how I've heard. So I'm always like, it's not Stark, it's Stark. It's gotta have that. It's gotta have that sh sound. Mr. Shark.
Yeah, he's my favorite too.
He's so fun.
He's
definitely crouching more on Hidden Badass.
Oh yes, so good. I would have had my cosplay be Stark. But I feel like just since we're going as a duo, the Frieren Fern vibes works really well, and hers is much easier. Fern's is honestly really easy
Fern's
of a
outfit
cosplay.
is so much easier.
So it's like, love Stark. I wanted Dylan to be Stark, but again, I would have to make it, and I'm kind of lazy as well. So
it's okay. Once we have ours. For Halloween, we can quick make Dylan like a chef's hat to go with his Stark costume, and then we have
okay, you're right. I have to make this Stark apron. Dylan and I even just talked about making him an apron because he has like these like I guess they're like cargo shorts, you know, a bunch of different kinds in like varied khaki, cargo green, you know, colors, gray, but he paints his models in them, and instead of and so paint is all over these shorts now. And I'm like,
dear.
Dylan, why don't you wear like an apron or something? And he's like, what did he, like smocks were too bulky or something. I was like, Dylan, you just need an apron. And if you don't get it on like the chest of your shirt, it can just be like a waist apron to cover your legs. And he was like, oh, like aprons aren't like cool or something. I was like, I can make whatever apron you want, Dylan. Do you want it to look like a tabard?
Cool
Do you want it to look like a tabard? Pick a character's tabard and I'll make you a tabard apron. Right? Like it's so easy. And he's like, you've made aprons before? I'm like, dude, this is one of the easiest fucking sewing things to do, man. It's like 4 pieces of fabric if you're not doing like
aprons are the best
pockets.
Starter sewing project.
So
good. It's so perfect.
But so that would be very fun. We'll definitely have to get together in July, Mars.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I am definitely spoken for the rest of June.
Yes, I mean, I
actually need to talk to you about some scheduling stuff,
ooh,
but that is a later thing. Yes, the parallels were so good, Pastry Puff. That episode hurt me so much because you could tell how much the dad just missed his son and wanted to have him back in whatever way possible. And when Stark had to tell him, like, I cannot be a replacement for him, I was like, oh, my heart!
Yeah. Yeah,
but God, I love how they balance Stark like, being whiny and scared, but he also has his mature moments. Like, for him to come out and say, like, I can't replace her son, that's a very mature moment. That's a very, like, okay, this character, like, he's more than meets the eye, but in a emotional capacity, you know? I love that so much.
It's all good. We love Stark. Sadly, the last Stark doesn't have a lot of him, but hopefully after that we'll get a lot of him again in the next season.
Did you say the last Stark or the last arc?
The last arc. 2 words.
Okay, because they blended together and I swear I heard the last Stark.
No, the last arc, sadly, is not focused. You know, he's kind of sidelined for a little bit, but it's okay. It's still a really good arc.
It's a really fun arc. It's so good. You get to find out more about magic. We don't know, Pastry Puff. Honestly, given the popularity, I would say it's pretty much guaranteed we'll get a season 2.
I mean, there's still a lot of manga.
The manga is currently in indefinite hiatus, so
that's the
sad
part.
Sucks.
That's the rough part.
But if the writer needs a break, needs to take some time,
oh yeah,
I totally respect
I can
that.
be sad and be like, take a break, Chief. You know, I could be sad.
You know, here was the trade-off, right? Because as soon as Frieren went on indefinite hiatus, Hunter x Hunter came back from indefinite hiatus. So I think this was the universe's trade-off. We needed some equivalent exchange going on. Can't have one if the other is already here. It's got to be one or the other.
I think that there's still a fair amount of manga after where we left off for at least another season. Manga. You know, so I like it. It's been going. So the rate at which animation goes, it will be good for a bit. Hello, Winnie.
It'll be good for another season. Hello, Winnie. Welcome. We're starting off with some comic panels tonight. Ori is in, well, not crunch per se, but she knows she can get these done.
I literally have this one that is literally almost done. I need to have, my goal is to have 2 a day for the sketch portion of this one, because that's how many I need. And I don't want to get behind, and I already did one today. We have this lovely laughing Ferrex and annoyed Hodson. I love this close-up one. So good.
Oh, that's a good one.
It'll be really fun because a lot of the background characters are going to be blurred in the end because, you know, for like focus reasons. So it'll look really cool if I'm being honest. It's one of those things where it's like, oh no, there's something that was like the worst part of making art, and it's when you like draw like say a really good face and then you have to put the hand in front of the face because it's doing something and you have to erase all that is behind the hand, and it's like rough. Oh like yay but and it's like that's the vibe that these are gonna get, because you have to put in all the effort in order to make sure that they words and things.
Words indeed.
And make sure they like have all the details when they're blurred out properly. All right. So here we have Aster. It's Aster's time now.
Look at the boy.
Look at the boy.
The final.
The final. I'm not doing
the final of the crew.
The final of the crew.
Final of the
because
crew.
There's literally one more week that I'll be able to do this after this, and because I haven't finished Ferrex, Cinet, or Aster's, that's what we'll be focusing on for the last week. But here we are now, because Aster is a very tall boy. He had to get a bigger sheet, so you can see that the little squares are more spaced out. And if you look at Milano compared to him, he's a big boy. He's even slouching here, but he's a big boy.
He is very big.
He's slouchy. I really put in a lot of effort to get in the slouchy. He needed the slouchy. I wanted to have both the bent wing to show how he can bend his wing because of the way his anatomy works, and then have the full out wings. So that was fun. I felt like the sort of hand behind the head worked pretty well with the slouch.
That is wings, Winnie.
Yes.
Lots of wings.
Lots of wings. Aster is both a joy to draw and a pain. But
yeah, he is.
That is not what we are focusing on. Now we are focusing on the 3 close-ups. Aster doesn't emote very often. Definitely not a lot. But
when he does, it's something special.
He definitely doesn't make large emotions like the rest of the crew does. But I think one iconic one is his like soft smile, where he's not full deadpan. But he's like
definitely.
Kind of fond. I feel like that's one I want to do.
I feel like Fawn definitely nails it.
So I think that's the first one I'm gonna try to get in here.
We also love characters with wings, Winnie. That's why we have so many characters with wings.
Me thinking about like what I want to make Mars put in the next comic that we write is like,
she's already given me so many plot ideas.
I'm like, it'll definitely be like when we get to that point, which is far down the line. It's just fun to always, you always think about it sometimes, and who knows what will change. But it's definitely one of those things where it's like, yes, what does Ori want to draw? And it's like, but how much of this is going to be a pain to draw over and over and over again? That's where my like brain is sitting. I'm like, ooh, Ori wants more like tattooed characters, but then it's like, you didn't do that because it's a pain.
Well, now might be the time.
We will see.
We will see indeed. Only one way to find out.
That's fun, Mason. That reminds me of Toaster Boy.
Oh, that's really fun.
With what was that called? Sunnyside Skies?
Sunnyside Skies, yeah. Oh, that was such a good comic.
There's a comic called Sunnyside Skies.
Still going.
Yeah, it is still going. Slowly but surely. And basically there ended up being a comic book series that also, you know, had like movies and television shows or whatever within the world that was called Toaster Boy, I think is what it was called. And he's literally like a dude with a toaster on his head. And
kind of gives One Punch Man vibes.
Yeah, it does give One Punch Man vibes. And people loved him so much. Hello, Safe. People loved him so much that they made like a short, it's finished, like a short spin-off series of Toaster Guy. That's what it is, Toaster Guy.
It's so clever, and it just gives like so much meat to the world. Because now it's like, oh, I'm reading the story that the characters in the other story read.
We'll drop the default dance. I don't know what the default dance is.
I've not heard of the default dance. This is news to me.
But yeah, that's the bane of being like a creator. No matter how much you love your characters and your story, there's always like a but this is a cool idea that I sadly can't do within the story, you know, this story that we're telling.
But also hell to create said idea.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, but we'll have to wait. Which I'm thankful.
All in due time.
I'm thankful that I definitely don't feel the like an itch. I know some comic creators really feel an itch at a certain point. I'm definitely very happy to keep working on the comic. It's more like how I think of the animatics, right? Is this something I'll ever do? Probably not. But is it fun to like fantasize to the music all the time? Yes.
It's also kind of like a wouldn't this be cool? It's definitely fantasizing for sure.
It's certainly not anything like oh, I'm getting bored of the comic. Nah, honestly, 99% of the time I have a lot of fun.
Half of the time we're thinking of these AMV ideas to
Oh yeah, 99% of the things that I think about are comic related. And there's just every once in a while like this is a plot line that is really fun or cool, or like this is something that like next characters. Like, I really like the idea of, like, transformations. I think that's a fun thing to explore in the next comic, because that's not something that this world that we've built, you know, sort of allows for. So, you know, but I like that idea a lot. And, you know, and there's always, like, you'll never fit everything into a comic. You know, you like so many broad stuff. Right, and to try and jam-pack everything in there would be futile and make a result that you're not happy with, probably. So
absolutely. So there's definitely a balance you gotta strike.
Interesting, Safe. I'll have to look it up later.
I do have to say, the one thing, Ori, because I like mechas a lot, but I know you don't want to draw robots.
It would have to
I remember that you did a fan art of Gallo.
Yeah,
where he
with the mech legs.
With Gallo de Leon with the mech legs. I think we could do something with that, where they like take on parts of the mech suit.
It would
into
definitely
their bodies.
Be something that would have to have a lot more of a design phase, because just
oh, for sure.
You think like the drawing wings on one character that is not in every single panel is a lot. Like, to draw a mech is just a like. I will say it really depends on the mech. I've only hated one time that I had to draw anything that was closely like robotic. I actually enjoyed drawing the Gallo mech legs, right? They're relatively simple. They're not crazy. The only character I ever really despised drawing was this character that Dylan played in a short campaign. His name was Vipo, and he was a dragon warforged, and it was based off this image he found on the internet, and it was just so intricate. that I just, like, really, really did not enjoy. Like, it had, like, a combined thing of, like, animal heads, which I'm definitely not, like, proficient at to be, like,
Oh, I
quick
think I
at them.
remember this guy, actually.
Yeah, I can probably find his thing, if I'm being honest. And he just, like, he really frustrated me a lot. So much so where I really, really hated drawing him. And it was also combined with the fact that, like, I didn't really get to design him very much. It was more like, I want, like, Dylan, like, saw an image on the internet, and then, like, that was...
I want that!
Yeah, and, like, built a character kind of around that image on the internet, design-wise. So I also didn't get, like, a hand in it. But it was just
would you say it had as much detail as a Genshin character? Mason is asking.
Overall, no. I'm gonna go with overall no. But a Genshin character would also be something that I would hate to draw, and anytime that there's, like, an artist on the internet that makes comics with Genshin characters, I'm like, yes. No, like wow, that's dedication, you know? They're obviously simplified down, but there's still a lot of stuff, and there's one artist that we really
find a way
like
to include a lot of
that
details.
does a lot of, like, kind of more modern stuff, so they, like, their outfits are, like, half gone because it's just like, oh, the shirt and the jacket
it's
or
like
something
simplified but with the key elements, so it's still recognizable,
exactly.
which I feel like is the way to go.
Yeah, where you can still tell it's the characters, but it's definitely not okay. Oh, we get to open a new thing. Otter's question, is color theory good? Color theory is important. I don't think it's important where you need to, like, memorize it, if that makes sense. But it is... Yes, I know, computer. But it is, like... It does matter, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is really old art at this point. Oh, that's not it. Nope. Oh my god. Let me unhide. This is Vipo. Again, this is literally just a bust for him because he goes in like a card. This was the sketch I did for him a long time ago. But it's just, there's a lot going on, and I already was not like... I already was not a fan of having to draw, like, the animal head and, you know, just all of this layers. And then on top of that, this ends up being... This character specifically was on a card that was very small. It's, like, this part here, you know, and then this is with his, like... Oops. This is with his, like, weapon and shield that he was known with. So now it's like, oh, God, there's all this chains and everything. And it's just a lot. It was just a lot of stuff going on. And you can see I even, like... totally simplified his hands. Like, it should have had lines like his under things, but I just couldn't do that. But then I go and I think what really the two things that really made me dislike this one was the head. I already, you know, I'm not proficient at that, and then on top of it being really detailed, because I will say I'm going to, if Jamie's here, you've seen it already, but if not, nobody's seen this, and I'm gonna show it off because it's very good and cool. Where is it? Boop, boop, boop. So I'm working on this commission, and it's for a 3-creen, which has, like, a lot of, like, armoring to him, but it's in a way where, like, I got to do that. Right? Like, I got to place it how I want it and simplify it how I want it. I don't have to, like, now, this character would suck for drawing in a comic because, 1, the mushrooms are very detailed, and 2, all of the armor plating and everything on top of that. But it's like, I think that we could do mech-related things, but we would have to put a lot more time and effort into the character design and, like, sitting down and, like, making character designs and then, like, simplifying them down than we ever had to do with Outcast. Just because
100%.
innately drawing characters is like without that is easier. Like this character would still stuck to go over and over, but I didn't hate drawing this guy versus I hated drawing Vipo, right? And I think it's a combination of he's got a flat face, you know, he was kind of just, I got to pick where the armored sections went. There's a lot bigger armored sections, you know, it's not like tiny little ones all the way up and interlocking with all the little bolts and stuff, you know. I got to decide.
Which does make a huge difference.
Yeah. The less lines, the better. Because on top of that, you know how, like, Cinet's tail, you know, to try and keep it consistent. You know, now try to do that with as many lines as possible. Well, because his tail is, like, quote-unquote organic, you won't notice it as much. But if you really, like, change large swaths constantly of, like, a mech, people are gonna realize it. And that's, like, the fear about it. Because it is, like, inorganic, right? When it's organic, it's like, oh, your skin moves. You know, nothing is the same shape as it moves around.
Like, right? As you bend, as you twist,
yeah, like if you put
stretch,
a tattoo on your
around.
skin, especially on a place where there's, like, a muscle or, like, your arm that, like, twists, you know, like, it's going to deform, and so you can get away with a lot more.
Don't exactly have that luxury with inorganic materials.
The wings are actually a cape, but they are based off the oleander hawkmoth, which I'm very proud of how I did. Someone drew Xavier PCM. Did you put it in the Discord? So
wanna see.
And safe to continue your, like, thing about color theory. Is color theory that good? What do you specifically mean by that? Oh, a little chibi! Oh, so cute.
Oh my gosh.
So cute.
That is adorable. Honestly, kind of reminds me a little bit of Octopath Traveler, which is never a bad thing.
Safe to make your art better, yes, if that makes sense. So, like, the goal, the biggest thing with art is making conscious decisions, right? So when you're breaking the rules, the idea is that you understand what rule you're breaking and thus know why you want to break it. So it does matter, like, in, like, I think you need to know the basics of color theory in order to properly, like, make a palette.
To know how to break the rules, you first gotta know the rules.
And I don't think you need that, like, to the 100%, but it's like some things are innate, like you need to understand how contrast works, and then knowing, so that's like in your brain you could be like, oh, this contrasts more with this because it's, like, darker or something. But then the color theory level is that, like, blue is innately, like, a darker color than yellow, even if the saturation is the same, right, in a contrast way. So, like, blue contrasts very darkly. And then it's like, then knowing color theory in, like, how to shade things so it doesn't look muddy, right? Doing shading where it doesn't gray out everything. Hello, Kenzie! And it makes it actually more vibrant and bright and you know, and actually looks like, you know, skin in the stylized sort of way. So I think it is important to, you know, sort of go into it with an open mind, but I don't think that you can't do art without knowing color theory. And I've never taken, like, a class on it, but I've watched, you know, a few, like, YouTube videos of artists that, like, I enjoy their art talk about color theory. And this was something I actually learned about recently. And it's the idea of, like, watching a tutorial on style and watching a tutorial on fundamentals and making sure that you understand the difference and how you're applying it. And so it's like I have never taken, like, a class on color theory. However, I have watched videos that are specifically like, this is color theory in its, like, most basic form in how, like, the real world works, right? How, like, the sun casts, like a warm hue light, right? And then it casts a cool hue shadow, like,
so kind of like talking why things look pleasant to the eye.
Yeah, in like a real life sense, And so taking it's like, okay, in real life, the sun is this color, and it makes the lighter parts have like a yellowish hue to it, and the shadowed parts are blue because it's like on the opposite side, and all this sort of stuff. Another thing was something that I've learned recently. It's called subsurface scatter, and it's where because your skin is not opaque all the way through, the light hits your skin and has that like reddish tone through it because it scatters through like the top layers of your skin, like when you put like your hand over like a flashlight and your hand glows red. So that happens just kind of all the time outside in like strong light, so like adding that into things and this sort of stuff. So I think that it is important if you specifically have the desire to be better at art. But if you are happy with existing at your level of art and you enjoy the level of art that you are doing, I don't think you ever have to learn anything else if you're doing it just for fun. You know, if you're trying to go and now be like a professional, or, you know, even sometimes a content creator specifically, then yeah, you probably do want to look into a bunch of stuff and improve. But if you're happy with your level of art and what you're doing, and you don't feel dissatisfied with anything, I never think that there's a reason to improve. Me personally, that's my sort of motto, if I'm being honest. How I've gone about doing art has very much been this element I'm struggling with, or I think I could, you know, improve. Let's look into that. Or even it'll just be YouTube is suddenly like, hey, you like art, right? Here's an art tutorial. And it's like, you know what? That one looks interesting. I will look at that and do all this stuff. So it is definitely like, I mean, I always say this very early in my art career. In my art journey, I didn't draw feet, even with shoes, you know, 'cause I didn't want to. I didn't think I was good at them. And I just had no desire to improve because that wasn't the part that I enjoyed or had fun about, right? I wanted to draw the character. And the feet weren't important, you know, I was just having a good time. Now, eventually I made a character that, because of my vision, had to have bare feet. And now at this point in time, I actually really enjoy drawing feet most of the time. And shoes, especially. I can get very detailed on the shoes. Well, but see, that's the thing, Safe. If you don't like drawing them, and you're solely doing this for the enjoyment of making art, then just don't do it. You know? Make characters like the frickin', there's like a bunch of character styles that never draw eyes. You know, there's a bunch of people out there that don't draw eyes. You know, mouths, you can just make it a simple line and stuff like that. Like, you don't have to do the thing that you don't like. I mean, the classic is like the artist's hiding the hands behind the back or something. That's the big one. Or in the pockets, right? Now, at this point in my life, God, I fucking love drawing hands, man. I love drawing hands. I think a lot of people would shy away from drawing wings and feathers, and I put a lot of detail into that because I enjoy doing it, right? That's what I like to draw.
This is why we had to make sure to include these elements for Ori.
Versus
we wanted her to have fun while drawing.
Heads, like furries and like actual real animal heads, I don't enjoy drawing nearly as much. I just, even though I'm like decent at it, I'm definitely not at the point where I can draw like human heads in the style that I like. I definitely struggle a little more, but it has never been something where I'm like, I want to be good at that thing, right? It's like I can do it when it comes up, which is every once in a while, but I'm not at the point where I'm like, yes, I need to know how to do it. And, you know, sometimes I've done little studies and just for funs and had a good time. Like there's some fun, like, Fossa Ferrexes in my sketchbook that came out pretty good and pretty fun, but it has definitely been. There were a couple
of anthropomorphized Outcast characters.
Ferrex is the only one that I feel like I've done well, and I think that lends itself to just the kind of animal that he is. You know, like birds and reptiles, you know, especially like crocodilians and like sharks. Definitely when you look at like furry art of them, which is definitely the more style I would lean to personally, like I'm not trying to draw realistic animals, human features, right? Those kind of shapes in animals just need to be stylized a lot more to a point where me currently, I want to find that middle ground, and I don't have the desire to push really hard to find that middle ground. It's something that I'll do every once in a while when I feel like it, but I'm not, like, dying to try and figure that out. But when you look up, like, sharks, like furry sharks, they're usually, like, very canid shaped. You know, when you look up, like lizards too, they're usually very canid shaped, which is something that kind of hurts my, like, biologist soul in me. But, like, a fossa, which is very feline shaped, is already lends itself very well to having, like, human features and stuff. Same with, like, I did an elephant once, you know, canines too, but when you get to the point where they have, like, beaks that are very long, or, you know, crocodilians have very long faces.
That's when you start pushing into
sharks
more
have very
animalistic.
round faces with the eyes on the sides of their head. See, that's the other thing. When you have predators, most of the time the eyes are in the front of the head, which lends it to humans because the eyes are in the front of your head, versus animals that live in a 3D space. So birds and fish and and prey animals in general, they have eyes on the sides of their heads, so it's always a little, you have to push a lot harder.
It can be a little wonky sometimes.
Yes, Safe. There you go. You draw characters like Slade.
Yeah, there you go.
And so, but yeah, I mean, you know, there's been all the things about, like, the artists that cover the one eye with, like, eye patches all the time, or their hair because they don't want to draw the other eye because it's hard and they just don't feel like doing it. My philosophy...
Well, it's one of those things that takes away the enjoyment from drawing, and you don't want that.
My philosophy has always been, do what you like about art. Don't feel like your hobby has to be perfect, right? And I think that sort of, like,
I think that's the biggest lesson for anyone in anything.
Yeah, I think that's sort of... We live in a time period where it feels like, especially with, like, the rise of, like, YouTube and, like, content creation, that everything has to be a side hustle, right? That, you can monetize this, you can sell this. And it's like, but it's not just as easy as I make a thing and then I end up selling it. There's a lot more work that has to go into that. And you not wanting to do that should not be a bad thing, because it's not. There's no reason for it to be a bad thing.
Words to live by.
Okay, these eyebrows are not exactly doing it for me. Art is supposed to be fun if you're doing it for a hobby. I will say, if you are specifically trying to go into, like an art job and have it be your job, there is a lot more things that you'll have to do that, like, you don't want to do. Like, I don't like drawing backgrounds.
There would
now,
be a lot more to learn.
I personally have a desire to be better at backgrounds, and drawing the comic, I have improved. But there is no necessity besides my desire to draw a comic, and even then, you know, we probably could have made a comic where I didn't really have to, for me to learn how to draw that. Versus, like, as, like, a professional artist, you do have to draw a lot more things. Hope that makes sense. Well, I love trees. My job has to do with trees, but I will say my job doesn't necessarily give a love for trees. Oh, that was rough today. Today was, like, emotionally rough at my job because I do love trees. It's because I do love trees. And the crew is digging under these two massive Zelkovas for Zelkovas. Oh my god, they're huge. But they're, they already have, like, a fair amount of decay. They're really old, right? And honestly, Zelkovas are not meant to live that long. But so they're digging, like, directly under where the roots should be of this tree, and they dug these two pits on the sides where they found a lot of roots, and they cut a lot of roots. I really rather would have knotted them, but I didn't really have a chance. I wasn't there. So now they're digging this trench, and they haven't... Basically, the rule is that a root that is an inch in diameter or smaller can be cut, like, legally.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and, like, the Parks Department won't care. But anything bigger than that, you can't cut, and that's it. There's, like, no real room.
That's where the line
sort of
is drawn.
However, if there is, like, rotten roots, which are dead, like, you can cut those no matter the size because they're dead and they're not doing anything for the tree. You know, they're not providing support or nutrients. So, you know, there's no way around them. There's no reason to leave them if they're in your way. But so the problem that I'm having with these trees is that they're digging basically in the area that I would expect the most roots, and especially for these size of trees, pretty large roots. And they really weren't running into many of them. And then they did hit like 2 big roots that were just fully rotten. Like barely tapping them with a shovel, like just light scraping was disintegrating
just like
them.
crumbling.
Yeah, it was just it was all punk wood, you know, it was all just spongy and bad, and so we cut, you know, just rotten and not doing anything for the tree. Like you could basically like see the whole root under the tree when they were like moving it. It moved the whole root, which is for the size of the root that it was bad. And so it's just like I'm really concerned about the health of these trees because of the vast majority of roots that it had were smaller than 1 inch. Because of this rot that it has, it means that we're cutting the vast majority of the roots that it has. And I'm just like, Safe, I actually disagree. I don't think that we will ever come to a day where there is no trees. And the reason for that is that trees cost a lot of money.
Ori and I had a whole debate about this back in high school.
So trees are actually very expensive and have a lot of money invested in them, right? So much so that cities will plant trees whether the people living there want them or not. Cities will refuse to remove trees until they are very extremely at a whole thing. And they also provide things that you don't think about besides like environmental things. I'm talking specifically like these are things that you as a human directly benefit from. They lower your like heating and cooling bills. Where do you want to park in the hot summer? Under that one tree in the parking lot.
Tree.
Like where you complain about the trees all the time, you know, scattering stuff and putting down stuff, but I know you're gunning for that spot in the shade under that tree. All right, you know, you're in the park, you're under the tree, right? People do use them. If something comes to pass, it'll be forests that go away. It won't be trees in general. And I do think that there is a high possibility that we get to a point where we have significantly less variety of trees because of the environment that we create and, you know, the weather and everything. But I can't possibly see with the amount of legislation that comes for trees. Like if you cut down somebody else's tree without their permission, depending on location, size, species, you know, all of this sort of stuff, tens of thousands of dollars, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars that you can owe this person for cutting down this tree, because it takes time for the tree to grow to that size, right? And it takes time, so the bigger the tree, the more worth that it is. If the species is particularly valuable, like they're harder to grow or they're just rarer because of a disease,
take a long time
they cost
to
more
fully
money.
mature.
If your tree is planted, so say you have a street and it's lined with all of the same type of tree and they're all roughly the same size, removing one of those trees is going to be significantly more expensive because it's ruining the row. That tree will never catch up, in quotations, to those other trees in size. You have ruined the sort of aesthetic of that row. And so there's all these factors. There's actually like a calculator. You can look up like, you know, tree cost calculator, and you put in like the DBH and the species, and that's like a basic amount of that tree is worth that amount of money. And we're talking very, very rapidly in the tens of thousands of dollars, because you get a tree that is like 3 inches diameter, sometimes even smaller, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Like they're not cheap. Like you want to buy a tree
at all.
Like a nice sized tree. We're talking 2-3 inch diameter. You want to buy a tree to plant in your yard where you're already in the hundreds of dollars. I don't care what kind of tree it is. You're in the hundreds of dollars, right? And because that's years of growth to get to that point already.
Which was so wild to me and blew my mind when I first learned about that.
Yeah. 6 feet tall. We don't talk about trees in height. We talk about trees in diameter of the trunk. The reason for that is because that's relatively standard age of the tree. Not every tree works the same way, but that's relatively standard.
Some trees grow out. They don't grow up,
all
right?
trees all trees will forever grow out.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say.
All trees will forever grow out.
However,
have brain,
trees
I promise. Do have quote unquote max heights. So like depending on the species of trees, they won't necessarily get super tall. Right? You talk about the redwoods on the west coast of the United States getting, thousands of feet tall, like, really fucking tall. That's because of that species. You'll never get an oak that tall, right? And all this sort of stuff. So it all has to do with that. There's a lot of things. There was my tree rant. You got me on a tree rant today. Just because, I was really, really upset about these trees. And then I was like standing there with the crew because they weren't really being very trustworthy with doing the things the right way and not cutting the bigger roots that they shouldn't cut. And so I'm kind of standing over their shoulder. And then my boss is like, hey, also cover this other job. And it's like, fuck, I kind of got to sit here, dude. And so I was kind of like worried the whole time. But it worked out okay in the end. So the height never matters, Safe. The height never matters. When we talk about trees, they try to tell you how it is, but it doesn't. I have never ever used that measurement in my line of work. Tree cost calculator. All right, if our tree is 24 inches, red oak. So red oaks aren't particularly expensive. I don't know, 6 feet tall and 24 inches is not going to be a thing. So that's really, really, really wide. We're talking much, much taller than that. Be more like 60 feet tall. We're talking in like the 30,000.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, 24 inches of an oak is massive. Up there. 24 inches of an oak
that is
massive.
Up there. Holy shit.
Yeah. But it all depends. Here you go. This one's better. Yeah, $30,000.
That is an expensive tree.
Depending on the health of the tree, it can go down into more like the 15,000, but like talking lots of money.
This was your tree lesson for the day, everybody.
Indeed, there was your tree lesson. Trees are very expensive.
We shall get more.
Don't go around destroying trees. People will sue you. People will win, and you will owe lots of money.
There's other reasons for not cutting down the trees too, but
so
that's also
I was
a
taught
good one.
In like college that the way you have to like appeal to people is something that they can immediately sort of interact with, like understand.
Oh yeah, and money gets
money gets you real there fast. I could talk all day about environmental benefits and like carbon sinks and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
It is, funnily enough, the same way in my field as well. Can't go into too much detail about it, but yeah, money talks.
What was it?
Money definitely talks.
I had a professor, and and my college was very much a research sort of college, so there's a lot of focus on like pitching your experiments to people to get money to run your research, to fund your research. And one of the things was like, it was like you go up to the guy and the person you're trying to get money from to pitch your thing, and he's just like, why do I care? And it's like, well, environment and this, and he's like, no, but why do I care? You know, like, why does it matter to me? You know, you're using my money. You know, why do I care? And it's like, well, fuck, dude. If you don't care about the environment, you know,
like, screw you, man.
You can sell trees. Yeah. I don't know, you know, what the permitting to, like, be a nursery or something is, but that's like a
Ori,
local
we
thing.
actually just had a new nursery open in our town.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. I'll actually DM you this because it was pretty funny.
Okay, it's the eyebrows throwing me off. They're not doing it for Aster right now. I don't know what you mean by a tree property thing. Like a nursery? There's tree farms. That's a thing. A lot of them sell Christmas trees, but tree farms are a thing. There's also tree farms for, like, making paper.
Some flower shops also have lot permits to sell trees.
But it's definitely like I don't know if you can just out of your backyard sell a tree. That's like something, that's like a local, you know, city, state, whatever thing.
That could differ depending on your location.
Literally anywhere you live. I don't care
I'm honestly not sure about that one.
I don't care if we're talking like city, you know, town, or like country. You know, like any, like you gotta get all the way down there. Oh, I did. I saw that, Mars. I saw that when I drove over a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that. Yeah, that was wild.
I was like, I couldn't believe they turned that whole area into a nursery, because that was the last place I expected to be turned into a nursery.
I know, right?
Based on what it was before. I was like, really?
It had a lot of land, though. It had a lot of land, though.
I almost think the place across from it would have been better. At least that I could have seen as like a nursery.
Yep.
But I was very surprised they chose that location.
I don't know about jail safe. It'll depend in America.
Please don't go to jail.
Felonies are when you steal like $1,000 worth of stuff or more. So if you stole a tree that was worth more than $1,000, yeah, you could probably get jail time. Definitely at least some sort of, like, fine.
Not recommended.
Not recommended.
Definitely
indeed.
Not recommended.
Whoops.
Okay, Ori.
What?
So, guys, exciting stuff. If you read Spanish and you like Outcaste, we have a Spanish version of the comic, and I am currently working on the initial setup for it to send to our lovely translator. They are wonderful.
Oscar in chat.
Oh, Oscar is here. Oh, I missed. Hi, Oscar. I'm so sorry. I'm dumb. It's been a long day.
I think Oscar just arrived, actually.
Oh, okay.
Just in time.
Wow. Oh, maybe I summoned Cthulhu.
You summoned Cthulhu.
That's wild. Anywho, Ori, typo in entry 5, page 9. Ships back in one piece. PICE.
Yep.
So,
that's a future thing.
We'll definitely
That's
have
a before hiatus is over thing.
I think we'll definitely have a moment where we go over some of the last few entries and get some editing in.
Yeah.
We definitely would not do
Yep,
panel inclusions or anything like that. That was crazy. That was nuts. We're not doing that again. But just like little typo fixes here and there.
Oh yeah. No, that was a special thing that we did that we wanted to do. Because a lot of those were also old at the same time.
I had to share that because that almost cracked me up.
Ori does a lot of things, guys, and spelling is not her strong suit, even though I know how to spell it.
Spelling is hard.
It was definitely
and
just a
Clip
typo.
Studio
Has no spell
does
check.
not come with spell check. That is the biggest problem.
There's no spell check, and I'm going fast because usually, especially with these last ones, crunch time was definitely a big
We had to get them out there. I gotta say, it was really fun working on the script today.
Yeah, Mars did script stuff again. Which is good, because the more scripts you have by the time I go away, the better I'll be able to, like, go in and do all the panels. That's what I usually do.
That's what I'm kind of aiming for, to be honest.
That's what I usually do on vacation.
That's what I want.
Is I go in and I edit all the I make
my goal is to definitely have that extra entry done, and then I'm just gonna launch into entry 7.
Nice.
And just run. Run, Forrest, run.
Oscar's sneak is very good. Alright, what other Asters do we need? Stern? Like extra stern?
Stern, definitely.
Because there's like default and then there's like stern, the glare.
I feel like it's that parental stern. Like, you know how Chili snaps her head around and looks at
that's
Bluey?
exactly what I was looking at.
Does that.
The over the shoulder pose is what I was gonna go for that as well.
I could just imagine Aster being like, I was like,
he does that a lot already.
He's the big brother of the group.
Safe.
He's got to keep all his siblings in check.
Aster was parentified. He can't turn it off. All right.
He really can't. That's the problem.
My favorite thing is how, while Cinet is usually like pretty cool and collected, he still has his moments where it's like, nope, you're the youngest, and Aster's like, nope, stop.
Like, stop being a little shit. Be nice to your brothers.
But he also has that moment where he's laughing along with Cinet. I think the dynamics are very good. No one's like one
for these guys.
I have safe. I knew the plan.
Writing for these characters, I knew I always wanted them like, okay, here's our archetypes. We have the carpenter, we have the medic, and you know, medics are caring. Carpenters are like kind of seen with a tough persona. But then you also want them to be dynamic characters. So you want to be like, okay, they're also the carpenter, but they're also the right-hand man. They're also the brother, the friend, the support, the one who can also like break down and be childish or be vindictive. Like, there's layers to these characters, and I really hope that comes across.
I think it does. I think it does a lot. Remember me, though I have to travel far. Remember me.
Each time you hear that guitar, how did we get to this song? I don't know how.
Oscar said, "Don't forget me, guys. You didn't.
Now.
You guys didn't watch Coco." And then he goes, "Remember me." ... It becomes ashes.
Coco is so good, guys. I first saw that movie when I was at college. So I was away from home. I was by myself. I had maybe a couple friends that semester. And I went... Oh, yeah. No. Here's how it went down. They were running Coco for movie night in the lecture hall. Sometimes my campus did these events where they ran movies. And, you know, that was the night I decided to be social and was like, what the heck? It's Pixar. I like Pixar. I haven't seen this movie yet. It's about Day of the Dead. Like, let's go. Let's do it. This'll be fun.
Nope.
Dudes. Oh, my God. Okay.
Fucking
the scene
sobbing.
I cried the hardest at. I'm slapping through most of the majority of the movie.
Yeah. No, it's just the one.
The scene that got me. Both when Miguel. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Coco.
Oh, it's been years.
So turn off your ears if you don't want spoilers. But okay, 3, 2, 1. I fucking lost it when Miguel was trying to remind Coco of her father so he wouldn't be forgotten, so he wouldn't fade from existence. That one got me.
No, that's
but
it.
the part that one got me weepy. I was like, I was stony faced, staring at the screen, couldn't take my eyes away, just silent crying. But the moment that got me weeping was the ending, where Miguel is playing the guitar surrounded by his family, and then you see Coco is in the land of the dead. She's reunited with her father, and then you also see the ghosts of, not the ghosts, but the souls of the dead, like, back with the living, and then, like, Hector takes a version of Miguel's guitar and, like, uses his own version.
Yes!
I was sobbing. My friends literally had to console me. I was sitting there in the lecture hall just going, like, I could not be consoled. I was a wreck. Even leaving the movie, my friends were like, should we have taken you to this? I was like, I love that movie. It's beautiful. It was so good. So that's the funny thing behind it. The more tragic part of it was I had lost my grandpa recently, so that one.
Oh, that definitely don't help.
A lot.
That definitely don't help.
That did not help, but that's also on me for going to see that type of movie so recently.
Yeah, come on. I will say, Mars, when you picked a movie about the Day of the Dead, you signed yourself up a little bit for.
I got punched. I will say though, as much as it hurt, it was also very healing. And this is why I love media, I love books, I love stories so much. Because they can speak to you in a way that connects with you. They can help you through whatever you're going through in life. They can give you encouragement, they can give you confidence. Like, this is why I love stories. This is why I go for the stories that make me feel things. If I cry at a show, if I have a breakdown, I'm like, well, fuck, that's a good one. That's a good one, because it got me to care, and it connected with me, and I connected with it.
I think my biggest, like, public cry at a movie that I did not expect definitely doesn't have as much, like, roots and, you know, specific timing as Mars's did, but I went on a school trip to England and Scotland, and I was incredibly homesick for that entire trip.
Aww.
And yeah, it was terrible. Oh, the whole trip was a shit show, and on top of that, I like cried so bad the first night because the hotel was horrible, and it was like,
is that with the terrible teacher too?
Yeah, and it was like the hottest day in London on record. Like, that night we stayed at a hotel with no air conditioning in, like, this room. I could barely fit 2 twin beds smushed together, and there was, like, no internet, and I was sobbing. My friend literally hacked the computer in the, like, lobby of the hotel, like a computer for everyone to use, but basically, like, hacked into it, like, physically to make a Wi-Fi hotspot for me to use to Wi-Fi call my parents because I was so upset. So, you know, shout out to her. But coming home on the plane,
that's some next level skill.
Yeah, no, she's epic. But coming home on the plane, there's like a bunch of movies, you know, you can watch, and it's like 15 hours or something. It's not that long. It's like 8 hours or something. And you want to stay awake coming back. That's like how the jet lag works. And so I'm like staying up watching movies, specifically trying not to go to sleep. And what had come out recently that I hadn't seen was How to Train Your Dragon 2. I think it was 2.
Oh no!
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon 2. And so, spoilers for How to Train Your Dragon 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When there's the fucking scene when Toothless gets controlled and kills Hiccup's dad, I was dying. I was sobbing so hard in this, like, dark, it's like sleep time in the plane. So it's dark. There's like nobody's doing things. It's very quiet. I have like headphones in and I'm just like quietly like sobbing. And my friend happened to, it was like alphabetic seating, and my friend happened to be sitting next to me because our last names are close together. And she's like, Ori, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, it's just a movie. I'm sobbing. I'm just like, okay, I'm like, it's just really sad. Okay, I'm sorry.
So, I gotta tell this story now. I will never let my mom live this down. the first movie I truly cried at, that I remember crying at. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure I cried at Littlefoot's mom and Bambi's mom and all that good stuff. But the one I remember being truly upset by, when I was, I think, in elementary school, my mom took me to see Bridge to Terabithia. This was actually supposed to be my little congratulations for doing well in school. My mom would take me to a movie, and you know, that would be my little treat for doing well. Yeah, Bambi had a mom.
Yep.
In the Disney movie, I don't know if there's any
safe.
other iteration.
Yes, safe. Bambi
definitely
had a mom. Had a mom.
Yeah, emphasis on had. But yeah, so my mom took me to see this like brand new fantasy movie coming out. I loved Narnia. I did really like that one. I think that was out by that time, so I definitely had.
It definitely came out
for
before
fantasy.
Terabithia, definitely.
I'm pretty sure, because Terabithia tried to copy it. Like, they tried to hook the Narnia audience.
I have a
so my
gripe
mom was
with
like,
Terabithia.
okay, you love fantasy. Let's go see this like charming little movie. It's got giants and magical things, and there's a tomboyish girl. I know you like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, elementary school me had no freaking idea. So, also, I never read the book, so I was going in blind.
No, that's
the
problem
idea.
I have with it. That's the problem I have with that movie.
I had no idea what was gonna happen. So, Mama Mars had no idea what was coming. Mama Mars is still very apologetic. Not apologetic, but I tease her about it still to this day, because it cracks me up now. But, man, okay, spoilers for Bridge to Terabithia, just in case.
Is this really spoilers? It happens, like, right away.
I don't know. It does not happen right away. It happens, like, 2/3 into the movie.
Is it 2/3 into the movie?
Oh, yeah! It's very late in the movie. They let you get attached to the character first. They let you get attached to Leslie. I could swear it was sooner than
that. I could swear that it was like right away, and I'm like, and I was like, wait, we went into this movie.
No,
this was gonna happen.
Like the third act.
Oh god,
so
I've seen it once, and I have never tried again.
Oh, I never saw it after this. I
just has scarred Mars much more than me.
But so you're going through this movie. It's very wholesome. It starts out with these two people being friends. They find a secret little area to call their own, and the whole movie is just like about them using their imagination, and everything's really cool, and it's very fantasy-like, and you're having a good time. It's fun. This is chill. I love this. Kid me is having a great time. Then you get to the scene where the boy leaves for the day. He doesn't hang out with the girl that one day, and when he comes back from his little jaunt, his little adventure, he comes back to find his parents, like, terrified and worried about him. So they're like, oh my god, where have you been? We thought you were dead. And he's like, why did you think I was dead? And they tell him that his best friend died trying to use the bridge, trying to use the rope, because there was no bridge at this point. There was a rope that they swung across a river to get to this magical land of theirs.
The other side.
And the rope, I hate it! And the rope broke, and she drowned in the river. And they really stay with the scene for a long time. Like, they make you feel how sad it is. They give you the funeral scene.
You really do survivor's guilt shit, too.
Being upset. Survivor's guilt. The boy feels awful. I mean, okay, I will say this as an adult. As someone older who appreciates symbolism, who appreciates, like, all these little touches to make emotions feel real, like, looking back on these scenes, they're really brilliantly done, because they do make you feel something. They hit you where it hurts. And I do love the scene of, like, him running from the dark shadow, but it's actually his father forcing him to come to terms with her passing. Like, that is symbolism done right. That's very good. Elementary school me had no concept or appreciation of that. All she knew was main character is dead, and now main character is sad, and now I'm sad, and I was not the only child crying in that theater.
Yeah.
I think every parent regretted taking their kid.
It's like the same thing that, like, Five Nights at Freddy's parents would have had.
Of like 30 plus kids just sobbing and bawling, and the parents couldn't do anything about it. I remember seeing some parents leaving the
Oh my god.
But oh my god, every parent must have regretted their choice so hard. And my mom's sitting there like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that one of the characters dies, but at least it ended happy. So I don't let her live it down. To this day, I'm like, ooh, remember Bridge to Terabithia? And she's like, yes, I'm horrible, thanks.
I have this gripe.
It's a fun little in-joke now.
I have this gripe. I don't think that it's something that you have to shield children from death, right? And especially if a child...
honestly, please don't, because eventually children will need to confront it.
Yeah,
and
especially
having
if
characters to go through that with you, like, that can be relatable. I think Bluey did it spectacularly.
Yes. And I think having media, books, movies, whatever, for children who have experienced a tragic loss to, explore their emotions as well is very good. I think the problem that the two forms of media that I have ever experienced as a child, which was fucking Bridge to Terabithia the movie, and this book that was called like The Blackberry Bushes or something in like 2nd grade, that was my trauma, Bridge to Terabithia moment, that fucking blindside you with the friend's death.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I have. I think that it should be a little more telegraphed to at least the adults that are giving you the piece of media that this is what is coming. Right?
Yeah.
Because I think that what makes
warning,
it
please.
worse is the sort of like blindsiding of this is a fun fantasy movie and then the friend dies. Right? Like it's like...
But you could also argue that that's very much how death acts. It does blindside you on occasion, and
that's why it's like a dichotomy,
and it's
thing.
Like it's a double-edged sword.
I think
it's very much a double-edged sword.
That it could be bad to have like suddenly a child is just suddenly thrown into it, because God forbid that they're going through something and they're not ready to go through that in the like I think that there needs to be a way for the adults showing the children the media to know what's going on. My experience,
I gotta tell you, not a single adult in that room.
That's my biggest gripe
was going to happen
with Bridge to Terabithia is that every single thing in the movie, in the promotion for
it's all happy fun
is
times.
Very fun time. Is very just like they're having a fun playtime in Fantasyland, and God, I think that they could have done one promotional scene that is like a little like nod to the parents, where it's like as a child you wouldn't necessarily get where like the kid is, or like what's going on, like without the pretext, but the parent is like, oh, I know what's happening there.
You could have had the whimsical music playing over the funeral scene and then cut to something else.
I think like having one moment of the funeral scene would have been enough to tip off the parents, but not tip off the children.
Everyone's wearing black. Hold on a sec.
Like, and the one kid has like a stern expression, like whatever, like just the parents, whatever it is, just something.
Just a little something to work with.
My one is in 2nd grade. We were given like a group of books. It was like, you had book club and you were like grouped with people who were like picked the same book as you. And I love reading. I hate reading for class. It is my biggest gripe in the world. I don't want to read
the worst books. And the thing that drove me nuts, okay.
I don't want to read what you want to make
really
me read
dumb.
if it's not about something specific.
Well, that too. But also, like, if it's a book I like, which sometimes they hit some good ones, I want to keep reading the damn thing. And then I have to act like, oh, I don't know about the next couple chapters, but like reading, like, some of these books were like 7 pages per chapter. I'm like, I can keep going. I want to keep going. Why are you forcing me to stop? I hate that.
But it was like, so you chose the book by reading, like they were teaching you how to like basically read the back cover or the inside, cover to be like, what is the book about and everything. And so I picked up this book.
They were teaching us inferencing skills.
And I can't remember what it was. It was something about blackberries. I'm pretty sure, but some kid's book. And the back of the blurb is like,
I don't think anyone thinks that.
Well, the back of the blurb is like, oh, you know, Jesse's best friend, you know, Kyle is like the class clown of the group, but when Kyle's no longer around, Jesse has to like figure out how to like, you know, go through school like normal something. And in my brain,
no longer around, huh?
as a second grader who just had a friend move away or was going to move away, that's what's in my head. The friend is moving. Right, because that's the biggest thing that you're happening to your friends in second grade 90% of the time. They
explained it in a very poetic way.
They explained it in a very poetic way. Like 3 chapters into the book, you basically get that the kid is very, you know, eccentric, goofy, you know, probably neurodivergent and everything like that, right? But he's like flailing about in the yard of his house, and the main character, Jesse, is like, oh, he's just being a goof. I've had a bad school day because I, like, failed my test, and, like, I'm just ignoring him, and I go home. Turns out he wasn't fucking playing around. He got stung by a bee and went into anaphylactic shock and died.
Jesus Christ.
Great! I had lovely, it was, like, blindsided, but, like,
emotional damage. And
what I've realized right here, right now, is that in both of these cases is very much the child being like, it was all my fault. And it's like, why? Why do we have
survivor's guilt?
Both? Not even just survivor's guilt. Like there's survivor's guilt of
the survivor's guilt and the self-blame.
Yeah, but it's the self-blame of, like, if I was there with her, she wouldn't have drowned. Or, you know, if I had played with her, she wouldn't have drowned. Or if I had, like, not assumed that he was just being a goofball in his front yard, the ambulance would have come and he wouldn't have died. Right? You know,
yeah.
Like, it's not just the, like, why wasn't it me, you know, like, the survivor's guilt of it should have been me. It's specifically the, like, I blame me, my actions specifically led to this, and it's in a way where, like, a child, the child reading it, can be like, yeah, it is kind of your fault, because you don't understand, right? Because you don't understand, and it's just, blindsiding. Why?
So cruel. I remember this one book I had to read for class. It was called Freak the Mighty. Honestly, good book in hindsight. I did enjoy it. But man, did it have moments that just blindsided. I think there's just an age where you are forced to just read depressing shit. Like, the teachers decide, okay, no more happy, fun, fantasy, like anything for you.
Which I think
now
is ridiculous.
Now it's time for the real world. And I'm like, oh, good God, give these kids some hope. Because no wonder so many kids hate reading if they're constantly reading depressing shit.
Yeah.
Like, are you surprised
what are the books
that we got here?
I can think of one single book that was specifically assigned by the teacher that was like a fun romp time.
I can't even recall.
It was the name of this book
Tangerine.
is Secret.
I remember that one.
I didn't read
that
that
just
one.
Unlocked memories.
Instead, I read one about a hurricane.
That one.
I think it was literally called Hurricane.
Tangerine hurt.
But it was like,
God, I haven't thought about that one in a while.
No, I read the name of this book is Secret in class, and that's like that's the only one that like assigned by a teacher was not specifically like about like a tragedy of some sort and like dealing with it.
Well, yay.
Unwound?
Yeah.
What's Unwound?
Unwound.
But it's not about tragedy.
You had to read that in school?
Yes.
What is it about?
It's about literally getting children and unwinding them for their body parts, and that's how that's how the world goes round.
That sounds horrific.
Oh, great! Not about a tragedy. It's about body horror.
Yeah, it was great.
What the
Oh
fuck?
my god. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about literally any enjoyable happy time book.
It was a happy time.
It was not a happy time.
That don't sound like happy times.
Just because you're a weirdo doesn't mean that it was a good book choice.
Yeah, no, I literally think there's a point in a child's education where everyone just decides, okay, no more happy for you. We gotta get you ready for the real world and show you that there's no hope because we're pessimistic adults that
God, Speak? Did you read Speak?
Shit. Oh, no, that doesn't sound familiar.
Oh my god, that was about SA. It's horrible.
Jesus.
It's like, why did we... Why did I have to do this?
And Freak the Mighty definitely got me because, like, you don't expect them to kill off the main character's best friend. You think I'd be used to this after Bridge to Terabithia, but I was still blindsided by Freak the Mighty. Like, even though they built it up that he had this illness and that, like, it could potentially be fatal, you never thought, okay, like, he's gonna die at the end, and then he did, and it's like, wait, what?
I guess I would say City of Ember is not specifically tragic.
City of Ember was
and
all right.
ends
I
with
do
hope.
remember that one.
So, because you learn that
That's
it's
what
basically
I like about The Giver as well. Like, The Giver,
Yeah.
even though it had some tough material, I honestly really liked The Giver.
yes.
God,
Pastry
I
Cups,
was
thank
so
you.
mad when the movie came out because I was like, that doesn't seem like the book. That's
No,
really
sadly,
off-brand.
it was really funny. So the movie came out roughly the same time that I had to read the book in school. So we actually got to go on a field trip to the theater to watch the movie.
Ooh.
And that was pretty neat as like a concept. But yeah, the movie sucked. The movie's not good. Book, actually pretty interesting. I actually remember kind of enjoying that book. I went on to read the other two books. I never read the prequel book. That never interested me. I personally, prequels are hit or miss for me. Like, why couldn't I know this information before? Why did I have to know it now? And it kind of starts in like a weird place where I'm like, I don't know where we get to here. But,
Like how we get from point A to point B.
yeah, the prequel book is called The Prophet, and I like read the first couple pages of it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not into this. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening, and like I kind of want to understand what's happening in the context, you know, and not have to go through all of it. So it's definitely like wasn't for me. But the other two books,
Like,
People of Spark and it's called like The Black Diamond or something, were both very interesting as well. It was like
Ooh,
post-apocalyptic, but I like City of Ember because in my recollection, there isn't really like a lot of death or anything.
I remember
it's kind of
it
just
ending with
decay.
hope.
It does end with hope. They escape and they see the people living on the surface. Basically, spoils for the book of for the City of Ember, but basically
Spoiled
it's
for a book from your childhood.
yeah, this whole city civilization has been built underground in this kind of, and it's kind of like a bit fantastical because basically beyond the borders of the city lies like dark wastelands of giant bugs, and somehow they've done this thing where like escaping to the surface world makes you the proper size. So I think so, but that's never really explained. It's just kind of a weird thing. But point is that the city has been buried underneath the ground for a very long time, so much so that nobody really remembers like the creation of the city, and it's kind of falling apart. There's like food shortages and like the power keeps going out. There's no daylight, right? It's just the power, and the power keeps going out because the machine is breaking down, and it's kind of like falling apart into decay, and everybody's kind of like getting sick, and they don't have medicine, and they don't have all this stuff. And basically the main character learns that in their closet is this time capsule that opened up like years ago and their baby sister eats the paper and shreds it, so they don't have the entire thing, but it's basically an exit plan. And you learn that the City of Ember was never meant to be a permanent forever thing. It was supposed to last like a certain amount of time to basically what's implied to be survive the apocalypse, most likely nuclear fallout, and then like return to the surface after the amount of time. So it was never meant to last forever. And so it's the main character and her best friend like trying to figure out this map basically with this plan of how to leave the City of Ember, but only from like half a map, and they like learn even more about the corruption of like the upper class and like the mayor and stuff. And then they do manage to escape and to a world that has like a village is like right over on the distance. So there are people that survived, and that's kind of how it ends. And then the City of Spark is them living in this sort of aftermath with those people. And then the fourth book, because I didn't read the third book, which is the prequel, which is The Prophet. The fourth book is like black, something with it has a black diamond on the front, and it's like they get power now because it's more like you're back in like the Middle Ages where the City of Sparks is. So it's like combining the two societies together and bringing the best of both, and it's very happy in the end. So not tragic, I will say. which is
It's
good.
a nice breath of fresh air.
I do recommend. It's very interesting. It's an interesting post-apocalyptic world, in my opinion, and it's kind of like a mystery at the beginning, like an escape the room sort of thing. Very cool.
And that's always fun. Can never go wrong with one of those.
Please doodle away, Safe. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Kate,
totally.
what book you want to read? The City of Ember or Unwound? I don't know Unwound. But yeah, I will say, when you sit down and think about it, the vast majority of books that they make you read in school are really, really depressing.
Yeah. I don't know why it's that way.
Ooh, one more book that was not depressing, but this wasn't like specifically assigned. This wasn't like you will read this book. This was like, here's a bunch of books, pick. It was called Ella Minnow P. And it's a very
I love
fun
that one!
Yeah.
I
It's like-
actually never read that one in school. I actually got that book like literally years after I was out of school. I think I read it maybe 3 years ago, but it was a good one. So clever.
Yeah, it's written through like letters between people, and it's a really fun like word premise. So it's kind of like, I think what makes Element OP very interesting is that while it is a story, it's definitely started as like a thought exercise, right? As like a can I write a story with less and less letters? And it's like, oh,
And somehow
very
they
fun.
do.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so clever.
Oh yeah, it's done really well. So that's a good one. It's rather short. I do recommend that one actually. This is very fun. No real tragedy or anything.
Yeah. You might hate the government in that story.
Yeah, but who doesn't, you know?
How is the title spelled? Okay, so it's Ella Minnow P.
Yeah, it's P.
But the cleverness is that it's L-M-N-O-P.
Yeah.
Ella Minnow P.
But it's spelled like the name, the fish, the vegetable.
Yeah. And that's what's really fun about the story. Basically, well, Pace Your Puff, you don't like to know anything, so I won't tell you if you plan on reading it.
It's very fun. It's got a fun ending, a clever ending, and the writing. While the story is fun and enjoyable in itself, it is kind of ridiculous, but that's kind of the point. And it is just like a fun romp through basically a thought experiment of, can I write a book in this way?
Oh, another interesting what if story that I read pretty recently. It was called The Age of Miracles. And what happened in that story, I'm trying to remember the exact premise. It was about maybe a year ago now. But it's a sci-fi fantasy where everything exists like in our current day, our present day. It follows this teenage girl. And what happens in her universe is that the Earth, that's what happens. It slows its rotation. And its rotation starts getting slower and slower as each day progresses. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's definitely the rotation, not the axis. But it starts talking about like, what are the ramifications of this? What does this mean for produce? What does this mean for people's lives? What does this mean for the workplace? What does this mean for the school day? How do people like know when to sleep? How do they know when to operate anymore? What do we do with the clocks now that they don't work? What do we do with the calendars now that the days are lengthening? Like those don't work anymore.
Let's use solar power.
Really, really interesting thought experiment.
That's a fun one. That is a fun, what if this happened to the world in a way where it's like we could survive, versus like my father has read a few books where one is like, what if the sun just suddenly disappeared? And it's like, well, fuck, you ain't living very long after that. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You know, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not, yikes.
Like, it would get cold very fast.
Is...
Like we do not have the energy to like heat the world, you know, like at least with longer days and like longer nights or whatever, you know, like longer day overall, it's like at least this is like survivable.
Well, that is one of those things in the story, like things start freezing because the nights are lasting longer, so now they have to figure out a food shortage. and kind of
but
work
it's,
their
but
way
it's
around that.
slower than the sun just goes, boop, and then it's like, oh, well, fuck.
It's definitely slower. It's a difference between immediate horror versus suspenseful dread, I feel.
Yeah, exactly, Pastry Puff. Exactly. In the scenario where the sun disappears, we would fly off into... It would take 8 minutes for us to fly off into space and never, ever, ever come back, and we would just be a rock very fast.
Yeah, that'd be horrible. Yep, no vitamin D.
Yeah. It'd be basically City of Ember, but the world.
It'd be like the Truman Show. Everyone living under artificial sun. No vitamin D for anyone.
I mean, we can make we have UV lights, but just to power it, you know, for enough people to then also make the harvest the energy to keep the light on, right? Like that's the thing you gotta think about.
I feel like for our next comic, we should do one of these thought experiments.
Oh goodness.
I mean, come on, we're smart enough for that.
That's less the problem.
I know a little bit about psychology. You got the science behind you.
Mechs and the sun disappearing. No.
Mechs and the world tilting off its axis by a couple degrees. What would change?
That one's interesting because it depends on which way it tilts, like more or less, and that's basically 99% a season thing.
But
To my understanding, we tilted more over time. As the Earth.
I do believe it. Ugh. Man, that was a long rant about traumatizing books and movies. But a fun one.
Yeah, the tilt does continue to change. I don't know if we're tilting more or less, though.
Interesting.
Supposedly, we
Speaking of traumatizing PCM, I'm watching you. I got my eye on you.
Interesting. Supposedly we made it tilt a non-significant 31.5 inches in 20 years. We humans did that.
Wow.
It sounds like a lot of inches, but thankfully in the grand scheme of things, it's not really.
Not too crazy.
In the size of the Earth, it's not really. But it does seem like we tilt more.
Well, that's
over time.
Good.
But basically, for those who don't know, the tilt is the reason we have seasons, and thus why seasons are more extreme. Sort of the further away you go, like the further north and south you go from the equator, because the equator is relatively not tilted. And basically, it has nothing to do with the distance of the Earth to the sun, because I think we in the northern hemisphere are reversed from how close it is to the sun season-wise, but it's which side of the Earth is tilted towards the sun at any given time, because we get more direct sunlight, and that's why the sun in the sky is never in the same path every single day of the year. It kind of tilts over, and that's why we have longer days and shorter nights, you know, as the seasons progress, because there's more of the Earth, you know, facing you for longer. So that one I could do, because that one would basically bring us like either way. That one I could probably do a thought experiment. One where we wouldn't have to rely on us having power all of the time in order to do lots of stuff. And two, if you tilt one way, it basically brings us back to like the Mesozoic era where we had very, very mild weather all the time. And if you tilt us further, we would have more extreme winters. But still in a way where if you lean, you know, if you move towards the equator, like that would still be better. You know, it just might be harder to live super, super far north. Like a Minecraft with proper world biomes, yeah. Wouldn't an untilted Earth just move around where the seasons are and kind of keep them in the same place? I'm not sure what you mean, PCM. We wouldn't have any seasons. You would have one time of year that is exactly the same all the time. You may have, like, rainy seasons, like, you know, much more equatorial sort of spaces have, like, the rainy season and the dry season, because that, to my understanding, has to do with the wind and not the tilt of the Earth at all. But you wouldn't have summer, winter, spring, and fall. You might still have, like, a spring in the sense of, like, you might still have seasons in the sense of, like...
You might still have it, like, in the sense of moderate temperatures.
Or not even that. You might have it in the sense of, like, things having cycles, but there wouldn't be a reason for them all to sync up in the same way. So, you know, there wouldn't be a reason for all of the plants to bloom at the same time. Mars, we are on the last Aster. What face would you like?
This was so quick.
Yeah, he's easy.
Let me think. We got stern, we got mom look.
Yeah, we have fond, and we have the look. The glare. Happy? I mean, I feel like fond is the equivalent of Aster's happy.
Okay, I know what I want.
Yeah?
Can we get a wishful Aster?
Wishful.
Kind of like starry-eyed. Or hopeful.
You wouldn't put that in the same as kind of fond?
Not really, because I see it as a more intense emotion. Like fondness is kind of like, oh, I like this, like this is pleasant. But wishful is like, oh, I want that, oh, I wish I could go there, like I desire this, I wish for this. Like that seems more intense to me.
Okay, we could try.
I feel like that has a different kind of look, you know?
We could certainly try. Why is he angry? Because probably Ferrex broke something, or, you know, Cinet and Milano are making fun of someone.
Teasing Ferrex again.
Yeah.
Or maybe when Hotson settles into the group, he'll get the little brother treatment.
Well, he's kind of had one or two looks.
Like, Hotson, clean up your damn mess after your experiments.
But it does seem like Ferrex gets the most of the looks.
Yeah, Oscar, like with a sparkle in his eyes. I always like to try to think of unique faces that we have not yet seen on these characters, but also faces where I'm like, I feel like this will be used in the future. That way it's still useful to Ori. I can definitely see a moment where Aster is being a little wistful, wishful, maybe reflective, that kind of idea, that kind of emotion. Eyes that sparkle indeed. Who
Every time
love a character
I hear the word
sparkle?
Wistful, all I can think of is Over the Garden Wall. Are you okay, Beatrice? You look a bit more wistful than normal. Every time.
You look more wistful than normal.
My brain defaults every time.
Good.
Fucking Wirt.
So good.
Love Wirt.
There's always that one word or one phrase that'll just have you defaulting to a quote from any like, type of media.
It's usually stuff that you don't use very often. Like, how often do you use the word wistful or hear the word wistful, right? So
Not
it's
incredibly.
Like, yeah. So it's like, because that piece of media I have seen so many times that I could probably recite it word for word at this point.
I bet you could. I'd bet Quatlu on it.
That it would be odd if I didn't associate it with that at this point. Just like, how often do you use the word rumors?
Rumors?
Yeah.
I I feel like I use it more often than wistful.
Yeah, but still
But
not very often.
I honestly feel like I'm using the word tea a lot more.
Yeah, tea's good.
In place of rumor, like
in my
instead
brain,
of hey, what's the rumor? It's like hey, what's the tea?
In my brain, every time someone says rumors, all I can think of is freaking Ichabod from No Evil going rumors every time.
Rumors.
He says it in such a specific way. It's like ingrained in my brain. Rumors. Every time.
His voice actor really does have that inflection.
Yeah,
so
for that one rumors every time. So yeah.
Common courtesy. Look her in the normal eyes. I shall remember that.
But they're all normal. For Neffy.
True!
You're saying her other eyes are abnormal, PCM? That's just rude.
Poor little Neffy.
I thought you were an ally.
Oh, fuck, I just got it. Ally. Oh, you think you're so... You think you're so clever. You think you're so damn clever, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I get a good one.
That could be a good place for inspiration.
Go down the rabbit hole.
Just be careful of the rabbit holes.
Just make sure you come back out.
I got lost in Shiguang art for at least an hour and a half.
Oh god,
today.
that's a while.
By mistake.
Oh.
I found so many good ones though. Like there were so many domestic scenes. I was like, yes, healing. Thank you. I need a drawing of them making tea together or hanging laundry. Beautiful.
Yeah, please give me that domestic life again, please. Thank you.
Give me the domestic. I need it.
What?
I
Okay.
need
Who wants to guess what comes up on my Pinterest board when I look at it? Let's see.
Rightworth.
I don't know why there's so much Rightworth on my Pinterest board, but let's see. No, but we got Gay Merman. Cool Jester.
Oh, okay.
What is this?
Ooh.
Is that Luke Wong? Yeah, I found Luke Wong. Just Lou, though. Just Lou.
Where's Shun Shishu?
He's in like a...
He's gotta have his boyfriend.
It looks like he probably got this duck. Like Shun won the duck. There's a whole Ace Attorney thing. Oh, it's so cool. It has like a bunch of like the defense attorneys on one side and the prosecutors on the other side. And they're like
that's
crossing
fun.
swords. Very fun, very nice.
They're crossing swords, you say?
Yes, the two Shogun era ones.
Okay.
Don't be weird.
Sure.
All right, that looks like all the
I
fan
apologize
art right
for
now.
nothing.
How dare you? Oh, and there's Link Click boys again. Both of them. Just doing a pose. All right.
There are the boys.
I have a lot of clown characters on my feed for some reason, which I don't understand. Oh, there they are again. The Link Click boys again. Yeah, it's mostly Link Click this time. It's because you forced me down a rabbit hole the other day. Yeah, why are there so many jester outfits? Why are there so many jester? I didn't look up any jesters.
I want to check my Pinterest.
Even more.
Oh, okay. Immediately Link Click. Oh, we got some Final Fantasy 15 in there. That's a little surprising. I haven't looked at that.
And I found Todoroki. Apparently.
Oh, angst picture. Now I'm sad.
Thankfully, I had no angst pictures. I just had them cute, and one was like a demon angel AU, and they were just being cute.
Oh, but now we got a cuddling on the couch picture. This is cute. Save. Definitely save.
I've never found NSFW on my Pinterest. Well, I guess the definition matters, but nothing like I would have considered.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing where it's like, oh no, like, I don't know. I find Pinterest to be relatively safe for work.
Yeah, Pinterest usually gets the job done. Mine is definitely tame.
I really like to use Pinterest for like inspiration for design work and stuff, so I don't know why there's clowns. Did I look up clowns for something? I didn't look up clowns for something.
Are you sure it's not related to like Mo, Max,
I didn't, unless it's coming from somewhere else. I didn't specific. Like, they look really cool, but like, I wasn't trying to make a clown character at any point, you know?
Huh. I wonder how and why that happened.
Yeah. The world may never know.
Well,
Again, honestly, not disappointed.
They
They looked very cool.
Oh, no complaints. I mean, when Pinterest gives us gestures, we take the gestures. The jesters. Ugh. Bad word. Gestures should not sound like gestures.
Uncanny. Let's see.
That's unfair.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the root is combined in a way.
That would just make
Oh
too
my
much
god.
sense.
Yeah, I
it?
can see why that's her dad, PCM.
Oh, okay.
Aw, look at them in the tavern together.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. That checks out. That tracks.
How nice. Oh, there's everybody up in the rafters too.
Oh, we have a new person
so
in the
cute.
Discord.
Oh, we do? Who joined the
Yeah.
Discord? Hunger.
Gotta
Welcome, Hunger. I
personally
don't know if
greet
you're
everybody.
in chat right
Welcome,
now.
Hunger.
But welcome.
If you are, welcome. We're happy to have you on board. We have been having some wild D&D sessions these past few weeks.
Well,
Been
yeah.
crazy.
We're back on our fucking Ace Attorney RPG. Okay, I will say Aster's hair is always the one. Aster and Ferrex's hair are always the ones that I find very difficult to put in perspective for whatever reason.
I can see why. Those are tricky shapes to work with.
Yeah. It's like it's gotta frame the face in a certain way. So we might have to go back.
Back in time.
No, stop.
Back. You know how it's just that one word that triggers you?
Yes.
Well, it's like you have phrases, you have words that unlock phrases. I have words that unlock songs.
They're nerd songs, though.
Oh, they're always nerd songs. Is there any other kind?
I mean, yeah. Okay. This is really funny, song related. I can't remember, it must have been college. I never would like sit there and be like, I had a specific music genre. I think only recently, and recently I mean like the past 4 years, have I had like a music genre that I'm specifically like, yes, I can say that I like alternative, which is honestly incredibly fucking broad and doesn't really tell you a lot, but that's what the genre of the music I listen to is. But I definitely used to listen to a lot more pop because I would listen to like the radio. And I'm a person that apparently just absorbs music like osmosis through my skin. And because I was at college. Yeah, I was at college. And they're like, oh, like I'm hanging out with friends in my room. And like, oh, like let's put on like Spotify or whatever. Ooh, like, are you guys okay with this like emo playlist? And I was like, sure, what? Like, I don't care. Go ahead, whatever. And I knew every fucking song because it's like fucking like the Black Parade and like Linkin Park and shit, right? And it's just like in my brain, it's like I have no idea where I heard these songs, but I fucking know all of them. Like what? Oh my god.
That reminds me of something. So at my work, my quote unquote office is in the same room that people receive physical therapy in. So there's usually music playing in the background to kind of keep the mood and vibe like light, fun, motivating, all that good stuff. It's basically kind of like gym in school, essentially. But they were playing different songs today, and one of them, I was like, I didn't recognize the first hook. And then as soon as this chorus started going, like, I'm doing my notes and also like, and I'm saying like every single word. I'm like, how do I know this song? When did I hear this? Like, this had to be ages ago. It's
I
just
will
funny
say-
how that stuff gets unlocked every so
Yeah,
often.
the brain is a wild thing because it's like the amount of songs that I know, right? That I can sit here and be like, I know this song and I could start singing it right now with no prompting is a fair amount, but not that many. But the amount of songs that I know, like, in an innate way, where when the music fucking starts, I know every fucking lyric, is like an insane brain thing. Right? It's like an insane...
It's like, how and when did that happen?
Like, how am I... No, it's like, I know I've listened to the song, right? Like Party in the USA, right? Why do I know every lyric only when the song plays, right? Like, why do, like, fucking, any Katy Perry song, right? Like, any Miley Cyrus
but, like,
song.
singing it by itself, it's like...
But it's like, to try and sit here, it's like, I don't know what the
something.
fucking lyrics are, right? The only Katy Perry song I could sing that wasn't just the chorus, with the lyrics right now is probably... Firework, because I sang it in chorus, right? Like, could I sing Dark Horse right now? No, but if
No.
it comes on, hell
But
yeah.
if it's on the radio,
like,
I know
why?
every single
It's
lyric.
nuts.
Like, what is that?
Same with, I couldn't sing like any Linkin Park song just off the top of my head, but the second they come on, it's like, yeah, it's in there. Why is it in there?
Well, it's like, as soon as it comes on, you're like a rap machine.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
Like, huh?
My favorite
When
one,
did
though,
I absorb this?
I came across this short, and it was like, dude, I bet you I can summon an entire generation with just one note on the piano.
Oh my
And they're
god,
like,
those.
no way, you can't do that. And he's like, oh yeah, you want to bet? And he's like, yeah, I'll bet. You can't summon an entire generation by just playing one sole note on the piano. And I'm sitting here like, what fucking note could this be, right? Like, what possible, am I gonna get this? What note is it? I just go, ding! And it's the fucking first note of the Black Parade. And I was like, why is this, like, innately inside of me that we all know that that's what that note means? Like, nuts.
It is crazy. And it unites us all.
It really does. Music
Wild.
is such a, like, a human thing, man.
It really is. Honestly, all of the arts really are.
The big one I like to talk is cooking. Cooking is a, like, big separates humans and animals sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it, like, shaped our
Doesn't get
society,
more
baking bread.
fundamental than
So it's,
that.
like, nuts.
Hence why we love Dungeon Meshi.
Honestly, it's so good because it's so accurate, like it's so right on the money about it.
It really is. And just the element of like food bringing people together.
All of it. It's such a
Oh, so
every
good.
culture has it, every family has it,
It's
right?
a
Like that's the
universal
thing.
experience that everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
Like we may be different in all our own ways, but that's
Exactly,
like one
Pastry Puff.
thing that
Why is
unites
it
us
just
all.
embedded in every human, after the age of like 12?
I'll tell you what, that's good marketing.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
good marketing and branding.
And it's just kind of freaking
It's there.
wild.
That's how it exists.
But my father would always be like, Ori, how do you know all these songs on the radio? And it's like, dude, I don't know. They're just in here somehow. I couldn't list them,
Like that's just how it happened. I got no control. I don't
mean, it's
choose
even
what
worse
songs
now
I
with,
want to
like,
remember.
The meme song, like the songs in shorts and stuff, because now
Oh,
you're just like
God.
hit by them. And it's like, nope, now I know all of these songs suddenly. Like, why? Why does it happen?
The amount of short songs or like short like sound bites I've gotten stuck in my head is too friggin' numerous to count. What was the one I got stuck in my head the other day? It was not Fuzzy Duck, although that one was also recent because that like showed up. Like literally the whole day I was going Fuzzy Duck, Ducky Fuzz. I'm like, stop, please.
That one is just so good. I don't think it would be as good if the inflection wasn't as good.
What was the other one that got stuck in my head? I remember what it was. Come on, brain, work with me here. What was it? What was it?
Dylan's been listening to meme songs and, you know,
nah, I got nothing.
Done the round, so now we have, fucking, Toka Toka.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yep, he's been listening to that, so that's in my head now. And, yep, freaking the Bring Bong Bong Born, Dylan likes as well.
Oh, that's a good one.
That one's always stuck in my head. Especially after I heard, like, someone cover it in English.
Oh! That was what I got stuck in my head!
What?
Okay, I know we talked about this on stream before because I sent Emo Wolfwood to Ori, and then she made Emo Milano, and she was like,
yes.
How dare you, Mars, you got me on the emo kick.
Yeah. Oh, everybody loved alt-fashioned Ferrex Mars on the Ko-fi. It's so good.
I'm so happy! So the brainworm did pay off. That's good.
The brainworm did pay off.
Well, the funniest thing about not only was it very good artwork, as like literally just Wolfwood hauling Vash over his shoulder, which was already phenomenal, but the song they picked was Emo Boy. Just like, I got it stuck in my head now. Like, don't be nervous, don't be coy. Come on, at me, Emo Boy. Like, I can't be singing that at work or anywhere else.
That's the worst when the song you have stuck in your head has
like in my head.
Like a theme or an explicit word, and that's like the part that you're
it's
like
either got an explicit or it's got something that like, okay, great, now I gotta explain this. Like, I don't want to do that.
Like, at least if I'm going bring bong bong bring bong bong bring bong bong born, no one's really gonna be like, what the hell?
I was like, people might give you a look or two, but they're not gonna. But if I'm just going around going, come on, fuck me, my boy, is like, what the hell?
Yeah. They'd be
what are you talking about? Like, no, it's
Mars.
the song, please, leave me
like,
alone.
Yeah, sure.
It was the freaking rhythm. I think it's just got that rhythm that just gets stuck in your head, and it's like, nope, this is what you're going to be singing for the rest of the day. Yeah, no, Ducky Fuzz, literally the exact same thing. Like, I can only sing the first two bits.
Does so well because the inflection on the last part. Does he fuck? Fuck, he does. It's just so good. It's just inflection is so good. No, the song that will be constantly stuck in my head right now is the fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the bones of an Englishman. I guess I've actually listened to that whole song.
Fi, fo, fum.
I've actually listened to that whole song because of the short. Because, come on, pirate, you know,
it's really
shanty.
Good,
it's
though.
so good.
I wasn't expecting it to be
so
good.
So good. Crossbone swords and a bottle of rum. No rest for the lily-livered pirate scum. From the dawning of the day to the drowning of the sun. No rest for the lily-livered pirate scum. So good.
Top tier. Top tier. Can you tell we like pirates, guys?
Oh god, I fucking love pirates, man. It'll be a little sad
so cool.
when our next comet doesn't have pirates, but I'll accept it.
Oh, we sadly can't do the same thing twice.
I mean,
but
well,
that's okay.
we could, but
we do seem to have a thing for vampires and werewolves, so I think we could do something with that.
Especially with the transformation idea.
Oh, transformations, yes, too good, too good.
I'm just also excited to be able to like try and figure that out in like a comic format.
Yeah, that would be interesting to kind of figure out how the transformation will look from panel to panel. Like how much of the transformation you want to show.
I think it really depends on what kind of transformation it is. If we're doing like magical girl, you know, doesn't really need a lot. But if we're doing like painful, then you kind of gotta lean in.
See, I gotta be honest. I like the watching the body shift ones because, like,
Yeah.
your bones would change. If this could happen, your bones gotta shift. They gotta move. Stuff has to get out of human alignment to go to canine alignment or some kind of like half in between. It's not gonna be comfy.
Mm-mm.
And any piece of media that doesn't treat it like painful is lying to themselves.
I think it all depends on how you're framing it, right? If you're framing it as a curse, or it needs to have some sort of like reason you don't just do it all the time, I think having it actually be kind of like physical is very good. But if it's literally like, no, I can turn into this anytime, like my power doesn't run out, like I am turning it into it anytime, Magical Girl style, is like, yeah, I'm okay with that sort of being just like a bloop and you're suddenly another thing, you know?
Like doggo.
Yeah.
There was one
Ooh,
werewolf
nice,
trope
Mason.
I saw
Pirates.
the other day where someone said, okay, enough of the werewolf who doesn't want their significant other around because they might attack them. I want the werewolf who doesn't want their significant other around because they act so stupid as a dog. And like one of the prompts was, you can't be around me right now, love interest. I'm not scared of you. And he's like, no, like, last time I turned, I barked at myself for 6 hours in a mirror. Please don't watch. I'm like, yeah,
Dog
that's
brained.
the vibe. It's up there with the vampire and their love interest that gets silver stud piercings when they're pissed off at their vampire lover. I'm like, that's the good shit.
Okay,
That's
do you know,
the funny
do
shit.
you know the little animations? It's like a chicken nugget. It's a little dog and like the friends. Okay, so the one is like the rabbit that's like a demonic monster, and then the little dragon French fry. So it's ice cream and French fry.
French fry.
Yeah, fly. And there's one, and they're dating, and they're both like envy and whatever. But it's really cute. There's one
super cute.
where it's like the dragon is sitting in a salt circle, and the rabbit is like, you have to come out sometime, okay? And it's like, no, I'm mad at you. Stop doing your blood sacrifices. And it's like, no, you can't. It's like, I have more salt. And that's the vibe I'm getting. Of like the freaking earring things.
That's the exact vibe. Like,
so good.
So somebody did not just a writing prompt, but also an art prompt to go along with it. And they drew the love interest with like a tongue piercing, which was already top tier, but it's like a silver tongue piercing, and he's like sticking out his tongue like at the vampire. He's like, come on, babe, talk to me. Hey, what are we having for dinner tonight? Italian. Would you communicate with me? What's wrong?
Nice.
So good. I wish I could find it again. I definitely have not watched that save. There is so much stuff to watch.
There is.
I still need to watch the first episode of Sasaki Miyano, which I might do.
Yes! Oh, it's so good, Mars, please! Please watch it so I can gush even more! I found out
I need to complete the Wholesome Gay trilogy.
Sasuke's voice actor has done like a bunch of stuff. I can't exactly remember, but in like, I think it was in like Demon Slayer and a bunch of other stuff.
Really?
Yeah, they were a bit more like Saki VA. They were like fairly in some bigger stuff.
Damn, that's cool.
Apparently, he voiced Foxy in Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie.
Now that's talent.
They were in Vinland Saga as Rat and Adric's son. They were in Given
those were season 2 characters, so I don't know them.
He was in Given as the movie, the guy with the glasses and the slick back hair at like the concert. The like
Ooh, okay.
That one. What else is in here? A bunch more that I'm trying to remember. He voiced Glam Rock way!
No fucking way.
And Sun and Moon in Security Breach. Oh my god.
Holy shit, this guy's talented.
Voiced the father spider demon in the English version of Demon Slayer.
Okay.
Did some Moriarty the Patriot voices in the background. Obviously, we
Very
didn't do
nice.
that in
We
English.
love some Moriarty the Patriot
Always
around here.
good.
And honestly need another season because I know the manga continues.
Attack on Titan, Porco Gallard.
Okay, Porco was season 4.
Konosuba characters. The one guy in Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, what does he do? What is his? I almost said quirk.
What's his gimmick?
Yeah, what was his gimmick? Let me remind myself.
Was he the guy who fought in animation? Like he did animation rules for his fighting, like 3 seconds, frames, stuff like that.
No,
like you were
it's
really
not
impressed by it.
him. It's not him.
Drat.
He's not the guy I thought he was. Where does he come in, please? Shark. Blue. Oh, he's the evil guy.
Oh.
Yeah. He had the like eye patch over his head. He was a little character. He wasn't who I thought he was though. I thought he was the guy that was with Nanami with the thing over his eyes. Wasn't him. He's Overhaul in My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay. So
He's
not a
Diavolo
small-time voice
in
actor.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Oh, no friggin' way.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Rekka in Fire Force.
Oh. Alright.
So he's done a bunch of things. I think his performance was really good.
Good for him.
He's a bunch of side villains, it looks like, in Mob Psycho Season 2. He's Gamma in Hunter x Hunter.
Gamma. Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff. Oh, he's also in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Diamond is Unbreakable. He's done a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's voices. That's kind of wild. Yeah, it's really good.
Good
So
for
watch
him.
the dub. I think he's really good. Well, we're talking about red flags. A series called Draw Detectives. It's an anime or what is it, Pastry Puff?
Ooh. That sounds interesting.
It sounds very cool.
In case you couldn't tell, we love our mystery shows.
We love mysteries. I mean, art is also great. It's a YouTube series. Oh, interesting. Like animated or? I'll have to look it up. Or something else. Draw Detectives. I can't tell. Oh, it's by Drawfee.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I've watched Drawfee things before. Like their normal content. So it's like a game show? Do you give me a description? Show where we solve the mystery with even
That's the
dumber
question.
drawings. All right. No, I think it's just like a game show thing. With the Drawfee group, which are fun. They're a fun time. I think it's similar to D&D. Ooh, maybe.
That's pretty cool.
Well, tell us how you like it, Pastry Puff. You don't know? You just heard about it? How wistful is this, Mars? Is this a good amount of wistful?
That's a good amount of wistful. It's definitely different from Fawn. That much I do know.
I'm more just saying, does it feel wistful enough to you? Are we capturing it?
Basically, is this the face Aster would make if he were singing an "I Want" song? If the answer
is yes.
It's
I even drew it with
wistful.
his fucking mouth open, like he's singing it right now. Jesus.
Aster singing, "I want adventure in the great
Oh,
wide somewhere."
Is it bad that my first thought went to a grill is a grill? This is surely so. But this grill is not a home.
Not a home.
This is not the stove I know.
No.
Honestly, while I originally was sort
That's
of
too perfect.
like reprimanding myself for being so goofy, I don't know. He is a cook. Kind of makes sense.
But sometimes it works. Sometimes it really works. Sometimes the goof.
Oh, well, good luck,
it
Pastry
works.
Puff.
There was a moment today where I had to write a asshole character, and I was saying to myself,
As
okay,
Mars has
is
a
this
lovely
too cartoonishly goofy? Like, is this too cartoonishly asshole-ish? Because he's still gotta be realistic. Like, this is still an adult in, like, the military, right?
Mhm.
So, like, I want him to be an asshole, but I don't want him to be, like, henchman goofy.
Uh-huh.
So it was interesting trying to find that line to walk. Or you'll let me know if I pulled it off.
I mean, what you sent me was good so far.
Okay.
Ears were actually hearing that specific song. What? BCM? I don't even understand.
Not sure I know.
Alright. There he is. We did it.
Ah!
Now it's back to working on Ferrex.
There's the boy. So
Oops.
pretty.
He's a pretty boy. They're all pretty boys. In their own special ways. What am I doing? References. Main cast. Cinet. Nope. Ferrex. Ooh.
A ghost
well,
trick and
sadly,
link click AU.
sadly, I don't know
Ooh.
ghost trick enough.
That has me nervous though, Pastry Puff, because I know the main character is a ghost. So which character are you killing up to make the ghost?
No! Stop. We're done. I'm done thinking about this. No.
Who are you going after?
No.
Pastry
Stop
Puff?
asking questions, Mars. Stop. No! My day is ruined. My crops are dry. Mars died as well. Here's our ghost trick AU. Mars is the ghost. And,
You're the one who said your crops dried.
yeah, but you're the one who screamed and then left because your mic was like, no, goodbye.
God damn it. I need my mic to stop betraying me.
Oh my god, rewatching, I think it was you, Pastry Puff, you posted the clip of us screaming at the blue badger. Someone did. And, it was you or Enthuse? No, I can't remember. Yeah, it was you. And listening to that, I can't believe that you can hear me screaming, not on my own mic because it's cutting out, but on Dylan's mic in the other room.
That was hilarious.
Oh my god, I was so
I love how
ready.
I'm screaming so loud my mic can't even handle
Your mic
it.
can't handle it. I get a few
So it
in
just goes
until
dead
I'm still
on
screaming. Oh yeah, Mrao. He's got all the slut vibes. I didn't mean to do this.
Very much so.
I didn't mean to do this.
He's got
But Ferrex
fakes,
has
too.
every slut vibe, and this was not intentional. But literally every other AU we draw him in, he's got like all of the slut vibes. So there's an Ace Attorney AU room, Mrao, right? And Ferrex is the the Fae, the Maya character. And so, to me, a very important part of Ferrex's design language is the off-the-shoulder look, okay? This is very important to his design. So I do this in a bunch of ways of giving him, like, a tank top and then, like, cut-off sleeves and everything, and do a bunch of different ways. But so some of the, like, original, so, like, concept art of making Ferrex in the sort of, like, Fae, you know, I guess it's like a kimono sort of, like, you know, outfit, is having the kimono's neck so big that it's like off both of his shoulders, because it's like very important to me that his shoulders are exposed. Like that's a design
It's
segment.
still got to keep some traits of his original.
But I gotta
character.
say, it looked too slutty.
It was very sultry.
It was so slutty,
and I
was like, I can't do it. So instead, his like kimono is sleeveless, and then it's the arm jacket is like always off his shoulders and sort of like around his elbows, you know, like you do. But yeah, the first draft was very slutty. And recently on the Ko-fi for the Carpenter tier, I did Ferrex in like an alternative style, and he has like this like skin tight like tank top turtleneck thing, and then it has the gloves because as long as the shoulders are exposed but the arms are, that's like the vibe for whatever reason. I actually have a Pinterest board for everybody's like outfits when I like come across like an outfit that I think would work with the
I guess
character.
now we know how you got Jester on your
No,
Pinterest.
I never looked up Jester.
You sure?
Yes, what did I look up Jester for?
That's what I'm trying to think of. Maybe we put the boys in a Jester outfit recently.
We didn't.
I have to actually think about saying the word Jester instead of gesture. Like my mouth wants to say gesture so
Why
bad,
is
but that's
this
not
in
the
here?
word.
This does not
Oh.
belong in this panel thing. I don't know why. There's like a food thing.
Food.
Yeah, but like this is the shit that like is always Ferric vibes to me. What else? This fucking like cutout hoodie crop thing.
Oh, that's
like
hella
you know,
Ferrex
look
vibes.
at this one is like his iconic like not a like AU outfit. If he's in like a modern AU, it's this one. Like Jesus Christ. The cutouts, all this sort of stuff.
Too
The fucking
good.
like strappies and everything, very important to the look. See, off the shoulder with the tank top in there. The fucking cutouts. Yeah, this is all the shit I give him all the time. And then we just have flexible pose because this man has no bones. He has bones, but he doesn't have bones, you know? So yeah, there's so literally like every AU that we've put him in route when I'm like designing Ferrex stuff, it's like one, he's the fashionista of the group. He has like 80 different outfits because I can't choose just one and they all look so good. And two, he's the fucking flirt. Why? This is just who he is, man. It just happened. Did I set out to do this? No. Is this what he is now? Yes.
Sometimes you just have that one person who is a natural flirt.
And it's not... It is mulatto, but not intentional. Ferrex does it intentionally.
Milano is what we like to call an oops sexy.
Yeah.
He never intends it, but he does look that way. So oops sexy.
Yeah.
Accidental sexy.
Ferrex is putting on a show. He's trying.
Ferrex knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because Milano does it so effortlessly.
Oh yeah, let's watch a good. I actually have Ferrex Band AU. TikTok.
Let's get it.
You don't see all of him, but you see enough of him to have the vibe.
It's a good amount of him.
It's a good amount of him. Okay. Let's see if this'll... Let's mute this a second.
Aster, please say darling in a seductive way.
Darling.
Yep.
Aster
But there he
would
is,
say
the tease.
darling in a seductive way.
Beautiful.
And Milano just got friggin' wrecked.
Yeah. He was not ready. Not prepared.
Was not ready for Hotsun to sound like that.
Give the man
It's
a
like
chance.
that moment where it's like, oh crap, that did something to me.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Yeah, exactly, VCM.
Yep,
you know what that
that's
gives?
the vibe.
You know what that gives? That gives Freeren's wink.
It does.
It
No,
does.
it's not her wink. It's
Oh.
her blowing a kiss.
Yes,
where she
that's
goes,
what it is. The kiss.
oh wait, I can't say it. Pastry Puff is in chat, and I don't. Yeah, no, didn't see that yet.
Don't go into too much. But yeah, so good. So good.
Oh, you did see it. Okay, I
Yeah!
forgot where in the timeline
I don't
that
know where it
fell.
happens. But yes.
If you met
so
okay,
good.
then you did meet Sign. You did meet Sign.
Yeah.
Sign?
Sane?
I always forget how to pronounce
Sign?
his name.
I don't remember.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Oh,
older
it was so
priest
good, Pastry. I love that whole thing so much because it's like everybody else is like kind of a little
I
weirded
love
out,
how
but Fern
I love
and
how
Stark are
Fern
like yes,
was like, yeah,
yes.
that move would have gotten me.
And completely serious, right? And then we do see with Himmel that yeah, it did work.
Himmel went down.
Himmel went down. I love the Himmel like Freerun so much because Freerun has such incredible like relatable Ace vibes. And so it's just like
it's so
but
good.
also like they're really cute. So it's like really like I'm just like here for it. I'm just like, yes, this is my experience. Thank you. Thank you. I feel represented here.
I just crack up hysterically during the failed attack scene with a sign where it's like, I blew you a kiss. Maybe you're too young to appreciate it, Sonny. Someone take this twisted child away from here.
So good.
I could not stop laughing during
Yeah,
that scene.
it
That
was so
top tier.
good, Pastry, because they're both like so serious about it. Like they're because they like they grew up with like her group or or her, right? And so it's just like, oh yes, they're so serious. And so I was just like, this is like walking down the street shit. Like what are you talking about? I go to brothels
like,
every single
what the
day.
hell? Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. So good.
I love that a lot of ships have taken that moment and kind of superimposed like other ships on top of it. Like I saw a Clance one where Keith is the one blowing the kiss and Lance passes out and Pidge is the one with the "what a cruel man" line.
Oh my god. It's one of my favorite. I really like this. For as much as like short form content kind of sucks, I do enjoy the ability to see like have these viral sounds go around and have people put either their own characters or other characters that like, from shows and stuff in them. I get to see them. Like I love seeing like the Avatar The Last Airbender shit or like Voltron shit. Just like come up with these like viral
Voltron
sounds because it's just like
making a friggin' comeback.
Good. I need more fandom that lasts, right?
Me too.
Voltron is like the last fandom that I'm like, I'm still in it, right? Gravity Falls too. If there's like Gravity Falls shit, we're like here. But like, I follow a lot of Clance stuff where it's still like, even before this like resurgence, like still comes up on my feed, like Voltron stuff, right? Same with Avatar The Last Airbender. Like, so good.
That's always there.
Yeah, it's so good, Veggie. That scene was amazing.
The amount of Zutara that somehow ends up on my feed.
But yeah, so it's just like, I love fandom. Fandom used to last longer because the shows used to last longer.
Because shows lasted longer.
Shows lasted longer.
Like,
and
they went on
Gravity
for
Falls
multiple seasons.
Didn't have
we just
many
don't have
seasons.
that anymore.
It still took a while to get there. So it's just like, Mob Psycho's still around. I get that one sometimes. I need more Mob Psycho.
That one definitely circulates every now and then.
But, Voltron was
I'm
the
trying
last,
to think
like,
of another.
really
The Full Metal
long
Alchemist fandom is still going very strong.
Yeah, I can imagine that one. That one's like a big one.
That one
I
definitely
think if
doesn't
you're on
die
the
off.
right end of the internet, you could probably get a lot of Naruto stuff too.
Oh, definitely.
I just never followed that much Naruto stuff.
Especially with Boruto keeping the story
Yeah.
going. Although I have no
watched a
idea what
short-
the hell Boruto is up to
I
now.
watched a short, and it was like Naruto's like, haha, you know, Bleach. How does it feel to be like the most, you know, like filler per, you know, episode, like, you know, like percent in your entire thing. It's like, oh, with the newest arc, I've gone from 45% to 42%. And he's like, ha, that's, you know, that's Peasley numbers. And then it's like One Piece is like, Naruto, what are you at? It's like, I'm at 41% filler. And it's like, oh, I have no filler, One Piece. And they're like, dude, your fandom had to like edit down the show in order to make a whole new show to take out the filler bits in each episode. He's like, what? It doesn't count. 10%. It's like, no, man. If the beginning, if the beginning of every episode is a recap, like it doesn't count. He's like, no, and then they're like, but we gotta talk about that, Naruto. And Naruto's like, what? And he's like, look, and it's Boruto, and it's like 70% filler. He's like, we don't talk about him, okay? He's over there in the corner. We don't have to do anything with it. And then lastly, it's like everybody's quiet, and you hear, please, one filler arc, please, and you turn, and it's
Jujutsu Kaisen.
And he's like, probably not. Ooh, you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead.
You're dead.
I'm just like dying.
Please,
Like, oh my god,
just one filler arc.
one each episode, anything, and they're like, I don't really feel like it.
Like, and this character's dead, and that character's
Yes,
dead.
pastry puff, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's by design.
It's so.
That is very
it's
much
so
by design.
good
Pastry
and
Puff.
so bad, you know.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
These showrunners know what they're doing.
It's such a sad thing because it's where it's like, if Himmel was around, he'd be my favorite character. Right? It's like, oh, Himmel, my boy, can you be here, please? No? Alright, I do love Stark too, but Himmel, please. Himmel, please. Nicole!
Nicole, welcome.
Welcome over. Oh,
I heard the MHA fandom, My Hero Academia fandom, went insane with the last manga chapter release.
oh, did they? I suddenly got a bunch of like My Hero like memes on my fucking shorts feed, and I'm like, why? I'm not like, it's funny, but I'm not in this fandom, please.
To my understanding, Bakugo and Midoriya basically completed their Naruto Sasuke arc.
Oh god. No.
So
Two ships
they
I don't
got
like.
to hold hands. They basically told
Aww.
each other, "I want you in my life forever," and everyone's just like, "Okay, so we know that they're gonna end up with hetero love interests, but also ship."
Well, I mean, everybody shipped already, but no. I don't like Sasuke Naruto, and I don't like Bakugo Midori. No.
The tragedy of a character that you'll never get to know indeed, PCM. It hurts.
So sad.
So sad.
I mean, we do kind of get to know Himmel, but like,
Oh, we get to know Himmel, but through Freeren's memories and
Yeah.
her perception of Himmel.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so great.
it's so good.
But then you also have other people sharing Himmel's memory as well, so it's not a largely biased retelling.
No, it's so good.
You
It's
do
also
get to
good.
hear it from other characters and how they perceived Himmel, and I really like that they found that balance.
My favorite is the other people being like, oh, the great hero and everything, and then Freeren being like, nah, he's kind of a dork.
My favorite instance of that was when they're like, oh, look at the statue of Himmel. Oh, it's fallen to rust and ruin. What a shame. And Freeren's just like, he spent 5 hours driving the
Yeah.
artist nuts.
Yeah, to try and get that one pose.
And they went with the most basic pose they could have imagined.
And then it shows him like lying on the like freaking like chaise lounge
Make
with
sure
the
to
rose
get my
and
good
shit.
side.
Oh, so good.
Hiya, Dichotomy! I'm so glad you have ears.
Yeah,
We
right,
actually
Pastry Puff.
finished sketching
Hey.
Aster. We could show him off again.
We can show him off again.
Oh, Ori was catching up on Ferrex because he's technically the next one that's due.
Technically, he's been due for 2 fucking weeks, but Ori only has so much time.
Eh,
No, he's not done in the sense of done at the level everybody else is. He's done for what I plan to do on stream, which is always
done
these
in
3
terms
here.
of sketch.
It forces me to make this part this much. That happens before stream, and then these happen on stream. And then to get to the Milano part, or Hotsun level, that's what we're working on with Ferrex now.
It's a delicate balance.
It's a lot of work. Because I made them so detailed in the fact of, like, I want them to be paper dolls, and I want them to do all this stuff, so it's like, I'm trying very hard.
I'm glad we have an Aster fan. I was honestly wondering how many people would gravitate towards him.
I think...
I gotta be honest, I didn't expect people to pick him as a favorite until his backstory came out, and that's not coming out for a while.
Hey, you know, we did a good job, Mars, if we already have I think every character has a favorite now. Maybe not Hotsun. I don't know. Is Hotsun everyone's favorite character?
Any Hotsun stands
Any
in the
Hotsun
audience?
stands? Pastry Puff's an Aster fan?
Okay, we got 2
If
Aster
you all
fans.
had to pick your favorite character out of Outcast. Nicole I took as a Ferrex girly, but I don't know if that still holds true.
That's what I had interpreted it as well.
Milano, I'm a Milano stan, so you know it's okay if nobody else. Oh, you're right. I forgot your white hair thing, Dichotomy.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes, the
I
white
knew,
hair
Nicole.
bias we cannot ignore.
I feel like Enthuse is Cinet. Enthuse has given me Cinet stan
The sushi
vibes.
boy.
Yeah. Ooh, Oscar. If Oscar, you're still here, is Cinet your fave? Because I know you like Ferrex too.
These are very important questions.
We gotta
We're
know.
essentially running statistics right now.
I'm just so curious. Yeah, well, I remember you like going on and on about it. I can't remember if that was in the Discord, in your Discord. I think it was.
There was definitely
But there
one
was
night where that
definitely
was
a thing
happening.
where we were talking about all your like white-haired characters. Cinet is second place.
Aw.
I
Good
won't
for
be
the
offended.
sushi.
No, it's okay. Milano can have all my love. It's okay. That is not sarcasm. He's mine.
I mean, we did spend the most time with Cinet and Ferrex.
Yeah, we technically haven't had a ton of Milano yet, so.
But he's coming back after hiatus.
Yes.
In big ways. In big ways.
Indeed.
Or a ton of Aster. Now, there was always a joke between me and Ori that Aster was kind of the forgotten child, which was very ironic. He was the last one to have his backstory fully fleshed out. He was the last one to have a song assigned to him that we like associate with his character.
I think that the sort of reason for that though was
Poor
because
guy.
he always had like a general idea. And so we just kind of like it stuck there, you know, versus like Ferrex's was always very like amorphous, you know, when we first started thinking about it.
Well, Ferrex, like the way we thought about him was, okay, he has this personality, but also why? Like we dove into his backstory immediately to justify why he acts the way he does.
Yeah.
And I think like from going from point A to point B really made it feel like, okay, we're spending a lot of time with this character. We're really fleshing him out. Whereas Aster was like, okay, we need him to be this and we'll explain why he's that way later on.
I know that there is another little Aster-centric bit of coming up eventually.
Oh, absolutely. Hella. I shan't neglect our boy.
But he's also in other ones. Good night, Mason.
Good night, Mason.
Like, I've drawn a lot of Aster. I've drawn a lot of shirtless Aster recently. A lot. It's kind of painful. But it got done. It's so funny. I'm so, like, ingrained to draw them with their clothes on that I actually had to, like, when, like, I did a lot of the sketches with his clothes on.
Actively
I was like, fuck,
think about
damn
leaving
it.
the shirt
So
off.
I had to, like, when I lined it, I, like, undressed him, basically. Yes, I did dichotomy. Okay.
Oh yes,
Ferrex,
shirtless
your
Aster.
butt is not working with this straps right now.
The cake
The cake
cannot
is
be
not,
contained.
not working. So we gotta fix it.
He's very round.
He is very round. He's got the ups, you know? He's got a lot of jumps. He's got a lot of ups.
It's gotta be so the
Oh,
belt
indeed.
follows that curve.
Yeah, it's like fucking Joe.
Yes. Oh god.
Hello,
Hey,
Hunter.
Hunter.
You came in at a
Thanks for
lovely
stopping
time.
by. Yes. Look, welcome to Ferrex Ass.
Ass land,
figuring out how to put
population.
stripes around
Ferrex.
his cake.
Alrighty.
Okay, this is working.
This has improved. I had to draw the straps first before drawing the bags. That was it. That was all that had to happen.
He definitely works out.
It's the order. He doesn't even have to try. He's just a tree monkey boy without being a monkey. He can't sit still, this man. He can't sit still.
Who has the least cake?
It's Aster.
Yeah, it is Aster.
And you can never actually see it because of the way that his feathers and tail works. So there's a medic tier Kofi post where they all have their asses out, and Aster's design is specifically wrong because otherwise you'll never see it. Yeah, Mrao, this is the good. He's got the biggest cake.
Yeah, Aster has
Yeah.
a tail. He's got feathers.
I'll open it again. It's just short, so you don't see it.
We gotta
as
show off the
often.
tail.
There it is. Boop. He has it in the
Birds
comic
gotta
too.
have that tail in order to fly.
You just don't see it all the time, because it's not like as swooshy as the rest of the boys' tails, and thus obviously not as long or big. So, but he does have a tail.
Definitely not as flamboyant.
Yeah, he needs to be aerodynamic.
Yes.
But he is very, very flat. As you can tell, there's not even a booty drawn in there because he really doesn't have one. Yes, we want to. Let's look at all the other boys now, just cause why not? We're here.
And his is definitely the smallest cake.
So we start with the smallest cake with Aster,
It's a cupcake.
and then we have Cinet, who's still pretty flat. Doesn't got a lot going on there. He traded his cake for height. Yeah, all the mass went into
Truly.
his cake. And then we have where is he? Come hither. I want the thing. This one. And then we have Milano, which Dylan wanted to be much more caked up than he is. But he's got something going on.
He's got
It's
a
going
decent
on.
amount of cake.
This is certainly going on.
He's not cake-less.
No. And then we have second to biggest cake is come hither.
Yes, it is a paper doll, Mrao.
It is a paper doll, yeah.
All our characters are Barbie dolls. They
Yes.
don't have equipment. None of them have equipment.
We're talking about asses dichotomy. What did you think I would do?
But second most cake.
Why can't I find any of the things I want? Jacket,
Bet
bag,
you weren't expecting
shirt,
this.
pants. There you go. Guys, got
Hotzing
an
got
ass.
the second most cake.
And then lastly is Ferrex. I don't need to save after. Well, I could open back, but yeah. And lastly is Ferrex. Usually you gotta pay for that. There's a lot other stuff on the paid side of the Ko-fi, but the paper dolls, they're happening.
I don't think that's what Morale was referring to.
I don't know what we're talking about now.
I don't think it was the Ko-fi kind of paying for NSW. I think it was the other kind of paying for NSW.
I'm being really ace, apparently. I wanted to show off, though. I wanted to show off the cool model thing.
Keep theorizing, Dichotomy. Keep theorizing.
Alrighty. We have... Yeah, so I made it all a paper doll because I wanted to be able to use them for other things. So you can take his hair off if I wanted to give him a different hairstyle. The vest comes off. The shirt comes off. So you can see all his lovely scars. The scars can come off as well if, you know, he's in an AU where he doesn't have them. The tail and thus other scales and claws can come off, and I can give him human feet. The shorts don't work without the tail, but basically it means so that I can give him all the pieces if he needs to be like a human.
They're removable.
They're all removable.
Oh, that's a surprise tool that can help us later. It really is, Oscar.
But very fun. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's very, very fun. Weird. Oh, that's why.
Oh, what was happening?
I'm getting delicious dessert. Thank you!
Ooh!
I love you too.
What'd you get for dessert?
A little slice of the toasted pound cake with Nutella on it.
That sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm. It is very good.
Oh. Maybe I'll get some banana bread after stream.
But yeah,
something
so
sweet.
that's why these references honestly take a lot longer, because I have to draw every single clothing piece separately.
Individually
and that's
on
also
different
why
layers.
they're not shaded in any way.
But it's super helpful. Ooh, cinnamon cake. Yum, Dichotomy. That sounds really good. Yeah, go get that cinnamon cake while it's still there.
Okay, yeah, Mars, I think I was just incredibly fucking dehydrated today.
Jesus. Honestly, I'm not surprised. It's been so hot. And drinking water, I don't know. I don't hate drinking water, but I don't like it either.
I don't hate drinking water at all. And I actually enjoy it. I don't think about it. If I'm not actually thirsty, I don't think about it.
Yeah. No, literally. I was like, this was fun. Literally 2 weeks ago, guys, the stream that I missed because I had passed out from like a combination of things, but one of them was dehydration. And I tell the people who like came to help me, they're like, how much water do you drink? And I'm like, maybe 3 tall glasses per day. And I'm thinking in my head, that's gotta be enough, right? Like 3 tall glasses?
No.
That's gotta do it.
The amount of water,
looking at me horrified.
The amount of water that you're supposed to drink in a day.
And they're like, you should be
horrific.
drinking twice, like 4 times that amount. I'm like, but that's 3 tall glasses a day. Like that's once for breakfast, once for lunch, once for dinner. What more do you want me to do?
Yeah, no, the amount of water
I don't want that much water.
You're required to drink like health-wise is disgusting.
I hate it.
I can't.
I hate it so much.
How can you do that?
I can't drink that much water without feeling sloshy. I can't drink that much water without being like, I want to actually taste something now.
It's still not enough though, Hunter. Like 3 tall glasses is not enough. I'm on my 3rd. I don't know what size this is. 40-ounce water bottle.
Like, oh, never mind. I thought it was like 16 ounces.
No, 40. I'm on my 3rd 40-ounce water bottle today and finally feeling like a human again. I woke up this morning apparently shriveled up like a raisin, according to my body. And now consciously making an effort to blow through this water. I have finally reached a point.
That's the worst part, when you have to actively think about how much you're drinking.
Yeah, I always have to.
Ugh.
Hey, there's a reason that a lot of stream redeems are freaking
Water breaks.
yeah, drink water. I probably drink more water during Ace Attorney streams than I do ever for the rest of the week.
Oh, same.
Oh, yeah, rub it in everyone's face dichotomy. That's the ticket.
Tisk tisk. God, that looks delicious.
Who made
Jealous.
it? Or was it bought somewhere? Either way is good. There's no shame.
I gotta say though, it's really funny to see a picture of
Ooh.
us on someone else's computer.
Yeah, dichotomy's
I
done
don't
it
know.
a couple
Does
times.
that, like,
I think
make
Enthused
it
did
all the
once.
more real for you?
It's kind of wild, yeah. Dichotomy's
having
done
a
it a few
moment.
times. I know Enthused like put us on their like Instagram story once, and I was like, "That's kind of wild." Your
Oh, I
sister made
missed
it.
that
Nice.
one.
was a
Ooh,
while
nice.
ago. But they're like, yeah, Enthused said something about like, oh, love these, streamers, and they do Ace Attorney stuff. Go watch them, and I was like, wow, I can't.
Look,
Yeah,
you mean little old us?
yeah, really.
I mean, yes, we are straining our voices, but we are not professional voice actors. Hence, we will strain our voices because we have no idea what the hell we're doing or how to do it safely.
Also, okay, no. I'm gonna fucking back that shit up, Mars, because
Oh,
I
are
know
you?
for a fact that actual professional voice actors do strain their voice. And there's a whole thing about this one voice actor who's a professional voice actor. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's doing this one scene, and he talks about how he's fucking coughing up blood from doing this scene. Okay? And there's a
Who
whole
the hell
thing.
was that?
It was something from the like Solo Leveling or the Tower of God, one of those like
Oh
like
my
like
god.
things turned into stuff.
He must have had vocal fold hemorrhage. Jesus.
And so it's like I know for a fact that when they're doing shit, like it's not good, because there's a whole talk about it's like, no, you want them to have like unions and stuff because they need good health care because they are, stressing their body out and doing stuff. So if I'm being honest, I don't consider myself to be pastry puff. He specifically said it himself because what was happening, it was Solo Leveling or something, and there's like a scene and it's called the Arise scene, and it was like coming up in the anime or something, and basically everyone on the internet is like, you
now,
better
is this
fucking
the
nail this.
Japanese VA
No,
or
this is the English VA.
VA?
This is the dub VA, the English VA, and so everybody on the
which
internet,
character?
the main character. And
Oh,
there's a
God.
scene where he goes like, arise, or something, and I have no idea what the whole thing is about. But basically what was happening is that the
It
internet...
immediately comes up VA coughing blood.
Yeah, and the community was like, he better get this right, he better nail this scene, it's coming up, and they were like,
Oh no,
being really
this was
stuff.
the Japanese voice actor.
Oh, see? Again, it's multiple people.
Kaito Ban.
There's multiple people.
Wow. Wait, oh my god. Which
Dead
solo
method
leveling
acting, yeah.
voice actors coughed blood?
Yeah, there
There's
you
a
go.
whole list.
See, that's what I'm
Jesus
saying.
Christ.
Right? Like, so, if I'm being honest, I don't think that, like, oh, we're amateurs straining our voice because we don't know what we're doing. Honestly, I think we have a pretty good idea of what is good and bad for our voice. The professional voice actors also strain their voice. That's all I'm trying to get. Are we professionals? No, I'm not trying to say that. We don't do it for a job,
Oh, not at all.
There's definitely voice actors that are way not so crazy voice actors. But there's also, I will say, voice actors that they have their one iconic voice and they do it. So, I don't think that
That is true.
what we do is necessarily
Amateur hour.
especially not to brag, but I've had vocal lessons throughout my life for a significant portion of my life. So I definitely know how to use my, be okay
As
with
have
my
I.
voice and, what we're doing. Mars fucking goes to school for this shit, right? So,
Yes.
honestly, Dylan is the most, quote-unquote, amateur by, specific training, yet, in my opinion, he definitely has the highest range. So, it's all whatever.
Oh, Keith David is the GOAT.
Yeah,
so good.
exactly. Keith David. But there's also a lot of goofy ones,
What?
like Patrick Warburton and
Oh,
frickin',
yeah. But
guy that I
man,
always
no one
forget.
else has a voice like him. Zuko /
Yeah,
Robin.
Dante Bosco. Yeah.
Dante Bosco, thank you.
Where it's just like, if you're good at the acting part, you can just have one voice. You know, I would even say, while Sayu does different voices, they're all still Sayu.
It still sounds like
Right,
him.
it still sounds like
Like,
Alejandro
honestly,
Saab.
listening to Link Click, I was like, I could see Sayu saying this in a stream.
I mean, even Jeremy Shada as both Finn and Lance. It still sounds like Jeremy Shada. Freaking Sokka's
yeah.
voice actor, you know, as Callum sounds like Sokka. Like, the voice itself, while it is very admirable to see a voice actor that can do so many different voices where you can't tell it's the same person.
See your
I
Tara
think that-
Strongs and your Grey Griffins.
Yeah, I think that to put that as your, like, this is what it means to be a good, like, voice actor is not accurate to necessarily be a good voice actor. You know, right? Like, it's more being able to convey the emotion in the voices that you have. Like, I think a lot of people could be a voice actor with just their normal voice, as long as you're good at the acting part, right?
You could spot her 5 mile. Really, Dichotomy? You think Timmy Turner, Raven, Twilight Sparkle, and Bubbles sound the same?
I can see an argument for Timmy Turner and Twilight.
I could see it.
Not Raven, though.
I definitely think Twilight Sparkle is less raspy than Timmy Turner.
Yeah, but there's a couple times where she like
It's like
yells
that
and
extra
it's like, no, there he is. But I mean, look at
It's definitely in Twilight's
Alex
crazy
Hirsch.
moment.
I would say Alex Hirsch. He does Grunkle Stan, Seuss, and Bill Cipher, a bunch of other side characters that you would never realize were him. I don't think
And he's
Seuss,
done
Grunkle
King
Stan,
from the Owl
and Bill
House.
Cipher sound anything. Well, but King sounds like Bill. Okay, that I can see. But between Grunkle Stan, Seuss, and Bill Cipher / King, they don't sound the same to each other, you know?
Very different
I never would have
voices.
imagined that Grunkle Stan was the voice of Bill Cipher. You know, like, damn. But the point is just I think that it's like, gotta try it and gotta do it. Now, we sit in a particular niche of quote-unquote voice acting where we're 3 people trying to do basically 100 characters.
Kind of like D&D, honestly.
Yeah, and that's why Dylan's very good at both of those things. But,
Exactly.
so it is definitely a little more on the, like,
Down low, I think.
specific kind of voice acting that we're trying to do. But yeah, John DiMaggio, I definitely see that. Tom Kenny, I can't think of off the top of my head, but John DiMaggio.
Tom Kenny,
definitely,
I feel like, disguises himself a lot better.
definitely John DiMaggio. It's like, if I wasn't told Bender was Jake the dog, I wouldn't have seen it. But the second I see it, it's like every moment is like, nope, there's Jake. There's
Yeah,
Jake.
it's like, now I
Oh,
hear
no, there's
it.
Bender. You know, oh, no, there he is.
It's really funny how that happened.
Yeah, isn't it? The point being is that, at least to me personally, when I think of someone being a voice actor, it's like, oh no, you have to know all these different voices. And it's like, no, you don't. You just have to be
Well,
good
what
at the
originally
acting
led us
part.
down this rabbit hole was, oh, they know how to protect their voices and keep them good. It's like, no, not always.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Some people
or
act
they do.
as big as they can until they start coughing blood.
Yeah. No, there was something I specifically saw about, like, voice actors, like, you know, needing good healthcare because they do harm their
watched
voice.
Final Space, if I remember
I watched
correctly.
the first season of Final Space. I loved, God, I'm blanking on his name.
Gary?
No, it's the voice of Hugh. It's Crowley.
Oh,
God, what's his name?
Crowley. David Tennant?
Thank you. David Tennant as Hugh is really fun. Really great. We love David Tennant as Hugh. It was a very, very fun time. I didn't watch anything beyond that. I don't remember why. We just kind of fell off. Oh, I'm sorry. Tom Kenny. I'm thinking of something
Yeah,
else
that's
then.
why I got confused. I was like,
I'm
wait,
pretty sure... No,
what?
I'm thinking of something else then. Hold on. We gotta go back. There was something.
Final Space is the one with Mooncake, isn't it?
Yes.
No, is this
It
name
is.
Mooncake?
Yeah, mooncake. Yeah. Moon
Okay.
pie, whatever. The green thing.
I remember really liking that show in college, and then it just kind of fell off for some reason. I don't remember why. Or he's researching.
I'm trying to remember everybody.
I can hear the clickety clackety.
Yes, of my thing. Hercules. That's where I know Tom Kenny from mainly. No, David Tennant is God. He is something in there, and that's why my brain is dying. What is David Tennant in Final Space? David Tennant.
I don't even know if he's in Final Space.
He is in Final Space. I'm looking at it now.
As what?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. He's Lord Commander. Okay, that's what he is.
Okay, I definitely did not remember that.
You're right. Ice King. He was in the It's in the show, wasn't he? Alright. When I look at not IMDb, everything sucks. I just gotta tell you. Yeah, he was in the Hercules show.
There you go. The more you know.
Oh, yeah. Sorry to cut him. No, not the original movie.
Yeah, no, we all know Danny DeVito was the big name in Hercules the movie.
Yes. No, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. Yes, look, I'm drawing human legs on Ferrex because paper doll.
Oh, I did not forget about James Wood. He does amazing too.
Okay, I gotta admit that, like, 90% of the voice actor names that I, like, recognize by name are very, like, I guess the word would be modern ones. I don't know what else to call them. You know, like, younger ones. Like, but because before I didn't care, right, about, like, the actual person. It's like, oh, that's X character's
like,
voice.
I like the character.
Right. Well, it's like, oh no, I can see, you know, like, oh, SpongeBob is Ice King, right? Like, you could, like, that's where my brain goes for a lot of the, like, older, like nostalgia voice actors, right? So that any other time when they're like, oh, it's this, like, I only relatively recently can remember, like, Patrick Warburton as, like, a name, right? Before he's just Kronk. It's Kronk's voice. And so it's honestly 99% of the time you say, like, names and it's like, I don't know. I know, like, 4 names and they're, like, modern, you know, anime.
To be fair, that's half the time it goes that way when we're watching anime and I recognize a Japanese voice actor. I'm like, oh, that's Gojo!
Yeah. Yeah, what did you say Gojo was recently?
Ah, shit. I said he was something. Was he
something we were
Sasaki?
watching. No. There's something we were watching together.
What was it? Hang on, now I gotta find it again, because this is gonna drive me crazy.
Is it a Demon Slayer
He
thing?
was Hajime! He was Hajime!
Oh, he was
Windbreaker!
Hajime! That's what it was.
Yes! Hajime is played
There
by
you go!
freaking
Dichotomy!
Gojo.
Dichotomy! Come here! Dichotomy, go
Yeah,
watch
I don't recognize
Windbreaker!
screen actors.
Go watch... I muted myself. Go watch Windbreaker! There's a tall, white-haired man. He's not stoic, but he's really good! You should go.
Okay, listen up, Dichotomy. Hajime is Milano.
Hajime is Milano.
Hajime is basically Milano. And every other
he's not
character
stoic,
in Windbreaker,
but he's tall,
can be
badass,
matched to an
and a
Outcast
tank.
wife.
So
See if you can guess which is which.
Go watch it. Yep, Hajime. Pastry Puff Hajime's VA is Gojo's.
Hajime's VA is Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. It makes
Which
sense. They both
fits
play
really well.
eccentric, white-haired
Yeah,
tall boys
yeah, exactly. Not
that
yet sold.
adopt children as they go along.
Okay, Dichotomy. It's really good. Windbreaker is about a bunch of teens that, one, easily we could transpose the Outcast characters onto very, very easily. But two, the storytelling between the characters is really, really, really fucking good. And the fight choreography, when they show the whole thing, is top tier. Excuse me. It's a found family vibe with a character that gets flustered easily by anybody complimenting him by anything just because he has never shown kindness in his entire life. Okay, let me think of stoic white-haired characters. It's complete, right? Is that it? You have stoic white-haired characters?
Well, ongoing until season 1 ends. It's only 13 episodes, and we're literally like 3 episodes away from that.
3 episodes away, Dichotomy. Also, Dichotomy, have you thus caught up on Outcast? Because the hiatus has begun.
Yes, now's the time.
Now's the time. Alright, Dichotomy. I'll tell you to watch it again when season 1 is over in 3 weeks, okay? I'll yell at you again.
We'll mark it on our calendars.
I actually don't find it to be that cliffhangery, if I'm being, like, it's definitely, like, looking to the future, but I don't think that I would call where we ended the Outcast to be, like, super cliffhangery, would you? Am I just
call it a cliffhanger?
It's definitely like
a mini conclusion,
showing stuff, but it's kind of like a mid wrap up feel. I think more.
I'd call it contemplative.
I don't think there's any cliffhangerness than like stuff you already weren't sure about, you know?
Rest assured, stuff will be answered.
Eventually.
But now's a very good time to catch up.
I don't know. Pastry Puff, would you say that the end of Outcasts for the hiatus is particularly cliffhangery? We'll get an outside opinion from someone who doesn't know the story in their heads.
Dichotomy, you're going to be waiting 5 years to read this story.
Yeah, not really. There you go, look. No, Dichotomy, please. It's gonna be forever.
Like, this is not a quick project.
I'm sorry. Webcomics never are. But hiatuses are the place to do it.
Honestly, that's when I do all my catching up.
It gives you both the vibes
I hate being behind.
Of being caught up, but getting to read a lot. 6 months, Dichotomy.
Oh, please do.
Yes, catch up. Now is the time.
The comic comes back in January 2025.
January 13th.
Ori and I desperately need a backlog.
Ori has no backlog. Ori finished episode entry 5, season
backlog.
11. You have a little more backlog, but Ori
slightly, but the scripting is definitely.
Dichotomy. What? Dichotomy. Dichotomy. Hold on.
You actually can.
What are you waiting 6 months for? Us to continue writing the story that you're gonna wait? Like, it's not gonna end. I'm just confused. This is like a stopping point.
Years, Dichotomy.
That's not a joke, nor an exaggeration. And if I'm being honest, I feel like it'll be longer than that.
Honestly, I do too.
It'll be 2 years by time we come, like, we'll come back in hiatus and it'll be our 2nd year anniversary, Mars. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I realized that the other day and I was like, oh shit.
Dichotomy!
Damn!
It'll be so long! I want you to know! It's not cliffhangery!
This is why you read the things! So you can appreciate them for longer instead of one big binge and then you just forget about everything afterwards.
Dichotomy, do you not watch any shows if there's, like, more seasons to come out? This is a genuine question. Like, Mob Psycho has 3 seasons, and it's done now. But did you not watch season 1? Like, would you have not watched season 1 even though season 1 is fully completed? Like, I'm just trying to understand the logic here.
I want to
Because
understand how this works.
I can totally get I don't want to wait week to week to episode to do it, but it's like, I would never remember the show's existence enough to, like, wait. How many years did it take Mob Psycho to fully come out?
I mean, you do have the benefit of us reminding you
Years.
every Tuesday, but still.
You know, like, years to get to it. So, I don't know. At that time, so you just avoid all. Do you?
How
when
do you watch
things?
anything?
What do you watch?
How
Okay,
do you join fandoms? I'm so curious.
this is actually
What is
important.
this way of living?
He'll only believe that once, though, Nicole. If I cry wolf too many times, he'll never read it when it actually is done. So
Yeah,
I can't
that's
do
the
it.
problem.
But this is actually interesting. There's dichotomy. I have something important to tell you because I know you care. Okay, and this is important. I follow a shorts creator, and she does a lot of like book related things because she's an author. She writes books. She talks mostly about the romance genre and all this sort of stuff. And everything like that. And so she talks about why you should read books that are in series that aren't finished. And one of the joke reasons is that it's the quickest way into Bookhala, you know, the afterlife where all of the books live and you can read forever. But the other examples are that it shows your support. It means that people are interested. If nobody reads the books because it's only part of a series, then the series might never be completed. If you don't show the support to the author, that series might never be completed. There's other things where it talked about, like, if the series is being written, you may be able to influence the story a little bit because, you know, she talks about how she had written one book of her series and her boyfriend at the time read it and loved one character so much that even though she had originally planned to kill him, she didn't. And you know, so changed the whole thing because, you know, her boyfriend liked it so much and liked this character so much and he was beloved by everybody. But this is what I'm saying, Dichotomy. I can understand binging to a point. This is the time to binge. That's all I'm trying to get out of you. That this is the place to do it.
Oh my
all
god.
I'm
You've
trying to
enraged
get
Ori.
Because it's like, I understand wanting to binge a lot at once. I understand wanting to get a lot of story, and I understand that specifically with webcomics, that, like, you don't get a lot of information at once a lot of times. But, no, you don't have to be the creator's boyfriend. Nicole. The point is, guys, and this is no guarantees,
No, it certainly
but
helps.
if you guys have some sort of incredible idea, just like a DM, if it's better than our idea, who knows? You know? That's it.
It's totally possible.
A good DM takes you know, the player's idea that was better than they had and uses it. So, you know, Outcast is not fully written by any means. We have big plot beats. Maybe we won't kill off a character that we were totally going to kill off.
I mean, brutally maiming is still on the table, but we won't kill.
Keep bringing this up, Mars!
And guys, you have the power to sway me to not do that. You gotta read the comic.
Yes, Dichotomy, yes. You know
this
what?
point, yes.
You know what? You can't get more Aster, which there is Aster in a good amount of the last few episodes. You can't get more Aster if you don't read the comic.
I did not expect the last few minutes to dissolve into this.
No, PCM, go back. Go back into your little Hero Forge corner over there and make pretty ship art of your characters. Don't suffer. Don't make them suffer. Thank you. Don't make them suffer, PCM.
We cannot allude to nor deny anything.
Perpetual immortality. Will you catch up every time that there is a break?
Schrodinger's immortality.
Yes, Dichotomy, it is all because you will read the comic at every break when there's a whole chunk forever until it's finished that Aster won't die. I guarantee it. But you have to do that.
Ooh, character sneak peek PCM? I'm down.
Ooh. Sequel campaign. Where do you want it written, Dichotomy? Have Dylan draw it up? I can't have Dylan draw it up.
I might have missed it in all the chaos PCM.
Oh, well, such is life.
There's
Well,
a lot
Dichotomy,
going on right now.
let's ask Dylan. Dylan, can you write a contract for me? Is that something you're allowed to do?
It depends.
It depends on what.
Do I benefit from it?
No.
Yes.
Unless so you can.
What's it for?
It's for that if Dichotomy reads every episode of Outcast as it comes out, that we can't kill Aster in the comic.
I'm allowed to write that contract. There's something boring.
Would you write that contract?
What was it again? Who'd that be so thick?
Yeah, it's Ferrex.
You actually drew a caked up boy.
Yeah, he's the most
He's
caked
very
up
caked
boy.
up.
Nice.
He's always caked up.
So it's what are we witnessing? Hold on.
I mean, Dylan, if you look in chat, you'll
Yes,
see the terms and
basically-
conditions Dichotomy is set.
Dichotomy will read every episode of Outcast when it's posted, as it comes out, which is something he specifically doesn't do, if we promise to not kill Aster in the comic. That's the contract we want.
It's a valid contract.
Oh, that's surprising. That's kind of hard sometimes.
Having a valid contract.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an offer, there's acceptance, there's consideration.
Okay. Would you do it?
It doesn't need to be anything crazy. Like,
Yeah. But he's specifically having it written though. Handshake wouldn't work.
alright.
You'll write it up for me?
I'm not saying I won't. I'm just asking. I wonder why it needs to be in writing.
Why does it need to be in writing, Dichotomy? Contracts are valid verbal, aren't they, Dylan?
They are.
So
Well, they are with an asterisk.
What's
Certain
the-
kinds of contracts. are.
This is recorded on stream, Dichotomy. You could bring it into a court of law.
That's true, you do have video evidence.
What?
It's hard to enforce this contract.
Isn't it hard to enforce it even if it's written down?
Well, yeah, the writing it down doesn't make it easier to enforce.
The contract itself is hard to enforce.
That's right.
Not the method. So this is a verbal agreement, Dichotomy. You will read Outcast upload by upload, and we will not kill Aster in the comic. Right, Mars?
Deal?
Deal? I can't put out my hand to shake. Yeah, it is why I need a lawyer next to me. He's right here. It's a great resource. We have to give Dichotomy. Fine, okay, deal. Nice, go read it now. All right, and with that lovely ending, this lovely conclusion.
Ending on a high note.
We are ending on a high note. We will go to sleep, and some of you will too. Not all of you, but
Maybe. Who knows?
we hope to see you on Thursday. Yes, you do, Dichotomy.
You do have reading to do.
We hope to see you on Thursday for Drawing and Dragons, and otherwise, have a lovely hump day. Good night.
Yes. Enjoy the Wednesday, everyone. We'll see you in 2 days. Bye-bye.